I
Okay.
will, I will be playing the role of Andrew tonight.
Yeah, you will.
Hard role to play.
I
Hi,
All
know.
right.
Chris McDonald.
Oh,
Hi, Andrew
Hi, Chris.
Brown.
Hi,
We
Andrew.
miss you.
I'll be
Damn
Chris
you.
then.
Okay, all right.
I can pull off a
Um,
white man, right?
We do miss him a lot.
Sure.
I need the
sure.
hat, right? You gotta have the hat brim.
You need the
Yeah.
hat
I should
and
have
some
shown up to this
patches.
class with one of those glasses that has the nose and the mustache and be like, what are you talking about? I've been Andrew the whole time.
That's what I think of when I think of Andrew, his glasses and a mustache. Yeah.
And I would have got away with it if it weren't for you damn kids.
Oh man, Andrew.
Y'all, we have so much to do today.
Yeah.
So I have nothing to say other than I'm very excited. I was able to look at at each one of your adventures. I can't wait. Here's how it's gonna go. Each person dungeon mastering, which we have, sorry, the schedule is Michael, then Chris. Nope. Where did I change this? It's not Michael, then Chris. It's Michael, then sorry. Week 5.
Steven. You just
Shit.
have that like available on your desk.
Tuesday, week 5 homework. What's going on?
I don't look at
I'm
Steven.
Chris.
Oh my god. Okay, how dare you? Stephen, Lisa. Who did I switch? Michael.
I would like to make an investigation check. Is the diamond still in the
week
museum?
5 homework. Okay, it's this.
I think the sword is actually an unbaguette.
All right, it's Michael, Kimberly, Stephen, and Lisa. Michael, Kimberly, Stephen, and Lisa. Quick things to remember.
Don't panic.
Oh yeah, nothing to worry about here. Low stakes. And
did you bring your towel? That was a don't panic
why
reference.
I have too many. I'm so sorry. I have too many Google Docs.
Do you need help? I can look it up. I have it really close.
Week 5.
It's in an email, I think, too.
No, I have the order now. I'm good on that. I wrote some stuff down and I have
Michael,
no idea
Chris.
where.
Oh, and you're like, don't.
Dungeon Master resources. What the heck?
This is the thing that's in the homework document about valuable thoughts
No,
to
this
keep
is
in
something
mind.
that y'all have never seen in your life.
And never will.
It was my prep for it. Here it is. Why the hell? Okay. Record. Great. Everyone doing the same thing next week. We'll cover that. Okay. Everyone's gonna do about 30, if we maybe 40 minutes. We have 4 people going, so that's 160 minutes plus a break will get us to 180 minutes, which is a full class. So I'm going to err on the side of 30 just because I'm going to want some I want to hear from the dungeon master afterwards. I think we can get some really valuable information about what worked and what didn't. Before you play, I'm going to ask you to set an intention. Obviously, it's going to be to have fun. No one gets to have that intention because that is the intention. I would love a measurable intention. If you are having trouble, we can come up with it. But like, if your intention is around role play, it'll be like, I want to do 3 different characters with points of view, or I want to make sure that we have a really there's an emotional arc for this one character. Something like that. If it's for combat, it's like after every roll, I'm going to challenge myself to describe what happens after every roll in combat. Or I have 3 clues during combat or 3 lore pieces. I'm going to like challenge myself to find fun ways to drop that lore during combat. Whatever it is, I would like it to be measurable. I'm saying slow down and don't rush, but that's when you're in something juicy. Slow down and don't rush. Every dungeon master has a button to press called cut to. And because you'll have prepped, I've looked at it, about anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 hours of content. You've all prepped this amount of work. That choose the stuff that you're focused on for your intention. If you're going to want to challenge yourself with more role play or more combat, just be cognizant of what's going on and where the time is. We're going to err again on the side of 30 minutes. I know some of you during homework have started a timer. Feel free to start your own. But even though you're trying to get through I don't think any one of you, unless is going to get to the end, unless you literally go, okay, cut to, this is what I really prepped and I wanted to reveal this to you. We're going to cut to the end. Unless you do that, you're certainly not going to get to everything. None of you will get to everything that you prepped. None of you. So when you're in the meat and juice and bones of it and having a good time, feel free to stretch it out, pretend like it is 3 hours. And then when you're like ready, like, no, I want to get to this part, then trim the fat there. I would love a combination of combat and role play. But you know who you are if you are wanting to practice more on combat, and if you know who you are if you're wanting to practice more on role play. So we'll figure that out in the moment. I'll be off camera. I might say, hey, do you have something? Now's a good time maybe to cut to, and I might skip you ahead. If you want to argue back, like, no, wait, I want this part, fine. Like you're the director. But I might pop in and go, hey, you had this other thing. Did you want to get to there? Just so, but it's a collaboration, and you're ultimately in charge. If you have any questions at all, this is practice. This is an experiment. Stop down, ask a question, raise your hand. What's that rule? Look it up. Like all of it's totally fair game. I understand that everyone's nervous. This couldn't be a safer space to try some things and take some swings. You've all are playing with mechanics, puzzles, role play, cool characters. This is the time to play with it. Nothing bad is going to happen. It's going to be over sooner than you think. And then I told some of you this. I do believe in combat that every round can be a second draft. And what I mean by that is if you start out and it's just going really badly for your players, on the second draft, lower the hit points of your monster. Change the die roll that they're doing. Instead of a D8, now they're rolling a D4 plus 2, and something. Just do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. I do it all the time. And even in the next round, in the third round, that's a third draft. Do something else, like you don't, the rules are very cool. So play the rules until you can break them. Like you just can. At the end, don't worry about this, but we'll do a debrief, and then I'll talk through at the end how to take care of yourself after DMing. You will be tired. You might have some adrenaline, but then you're going to be tired. Then the day after I DM, I'm always comatose until 4 p.m. And the reason is because you are the thing that drains your brain the most is making decisions. And when you're DMing, you're making so many, like millions of micro decisions about rules, people management, characters in your head, memory of lore, what you want to happen, what instead is happening, improvising. Like it's all happening. Everything is like a micro decision. It's the coolest feeling in the world, and it's also so draining. So tomorrow it's going to be a day to like don't plan, like you might be dead on your feet tomorrow. That's all I want to say. That's it. All right, let's get going. Any questions before we start? Michael, will you dungeon master for us?
Okay.
Oh, well, RIP Lisa tomorrow, I guess. Okay.
I'm just saying, I'd love to, but
yeah. All right. Beep bop boop. Michael and who is it?
Lisa and Steven,
Lisa and
I
Steven.
believe.
All right.
Oh, so I'm being me, so I have to take out the mustache. Sorry.
Gotta shave real quick.
now
Okay.
listen, Jay, I need that mustache to go.
Okay. So Win and Jude, several years have passed. Several years have passed since Win escaped into the Underdark and eventually met Jude, and you guys have gone off on all these adventures together. And something has been kind of tugging at Win's conscience for years. It's been growing more and more heavy on you. The guilt of abandoning your younger sister. So you now much older, decide it's time to travel back to the orphanage that she was taken to, now being an adult, uh, to see if she's still there or if they have any information on where she might be. So you guys go to the orphanage. You find out that she wasn't actually there very long. She escaped the orphanage. Um, and uh, essentially, you gather information that you find out that she has last been seen entering one of the entrances to the Underdark, and you can only assume she's looking for you since that's where you escaped to. So, with Jude's help, you now want to travel back into the Underdark for the first time in years, hoping your sister is obtainable. So, you enter in through one of the many entrances, uh, and you enter into a very small, kind of ramshackled town called Little Torchlight. That's very it's very cobbled together, doesn't have a lot of defenses. It's mostly drow. There's a couple other species in there, but mostly drow being the Underdark. Um, and none of them seem to want to talk to you, let alone acknowledge you. They all seem to be kind of afraid of something. Um, you know, that kind of walking down the main street and people shutting their windows and stuff like that. Everything seems kind of desolate. But you do see an older drow just kind of sweeping the street. You walk up to him, um, and he introduces himself as Harlock. He says, "Why, hello there. I haven't seen you two here before." And this is where we start.
Do I know Harlock from my time in the Underdark, and he just might not recognize me as an adult?
No, this isn't a town you've really been to before. Um, it seems more, yeah, it seems newer, kind of slapped together. You don't recognize him at all.
And I sort of nod and I say, "Greetings, Harlock.
Yeah.
My name is Wen. You might have known me as Marwena when I was a child. I actually spent a lot of time down here. Maybe you knew my dad."
Your dad's. I've known a lot of drow in my time. What were their
Um,
names?
their names were Balak and Jevin. They were kind of on the, smuggling side of things a little bit, but they were good people and they had a lot of friends in the Underdark.
Well, we all do that occasionally when need be, but they don't ring a bell. I'm sorry, and I apologize for the state of the town. We're in a bit of a a, a lockdown. Um, there's been disappearances. There's been attacks. Um,
Attacks. Attacks by
maybe
what?
we don't know. The few that have returned, uh, from what I can understand, some kind of creatures in the lower levels of the Underdark.
And I just sort of like,
You'll be
um,
okay. You'll be okay.
Jay, has Jay, have you been to this part of the Underdark before?
Um, have I?
That's up to you.
Can I roll a history check just to see what
Yes,
I've done here?
go ahead and roll a history check.
That is a 22.
22. You've been here before, but it's been a while that you don't really recognize Harlock either.
Okay.
And from your time in the Underdark, these creatures they speak of could be anything.
Okay.
When was the
So
last attack? Oh, I'm sorry, Jay.
oh,
Sorry,
no,
Jay.
you're good. Wait, so Harlock is the guy we're talking to?
Yes.
Okay, so I haven't seen him before.
No.
Can I do an insight check to see if he's bullshitting us?
Sure. Do an insight check.
Oh fuck, that's bad. That's It's a 5.
It's a 5. He definitely does not seem to be
Okay.
bullshitting you.
Okay.
He seems far more afraid than I'm portraying him as right now. Um,
Yeah,
he
go
says,
ahead.
okay. You two don't happen to be adventurers, do you? Are you?
Known to, for a fee, take a job or two.
Adventure.
What can we help you with? And then I
Well,
can tell you what I want.
well, this town, as I said, is in a very bad state right now. Everyone's kind of shut in because of the disappearances. If you wouldn't mind traveling down to the Mushroom Realm, where most of these disappearances seem to be happening, um, and take care of, or at least find out what is happening, the town will be very grateful.
You think that if we were to maybe resolve your mushroom realm problem, they might be more inclined to talk with me. I'm really quite desperate to find someone that I believe is lost in the Underdark.
Oh, many of these people here in this town have traveled far and wide in the Underdark. Any one of them could have the information you seek. And yes, I believe that if you earn their trust and their respect, they'll help you to the best of their ability.
And I kind of look over at one of the houses and I see a lady kind of peeking through the window and I wave.
And she immediately shuts the.
What do you think, Jay? You think we might have any luck with your goals heading down to a place we neither of us have been before?
Well, I'm always going to places where I've never been for just for artifacts. But what are you willing to pay us?
We have some gold. I'm sure we could scrounge together something for you. Let's say, well, you said you're looking for artifacts. We find stuff down here all the time. In fact, I know a fellow in town who has a shop, and I'm sure he would be willing to part with a few items that you might be interested in. But we don't have time for that right now. You need to be on your way because any attack is imminent at this point.
Does the attacks ever come into town or the attacks are primarily happening in this mushroom room?
Oh, thank God the attacks have never actually happened in
Okay.
town, but some have been close enough that hence the shutting of the doors.
And I stand up and I go, "Fear not, great townspeople."
And you hear a
We
few
got
more
this.
doors. You hear a few more doors off in the distance shut very quickly.
We got this. And then
When shutting, we
Jay.
got this, and Jay's just kind of like,
Okay, so we're gonna jump to, sorry.
okay.
So you've accepted.
Yep.
So he points the way. Being the Underdark, there's lots of offshoots, lots of tunnels, very easy to get lost down here. But he points in the direction that most of the situations have happened in. And you travel deeper and deeper, it gets colder, damper, darker. But you do start to notice dim light ahead. One of you roll a perception check.
Unless your
One of us,
perception
or-
sucks ass.
Just one of us?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or both.
I'll say my perception sucks.
Oh, I think mine's pretty good actually.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
What'd you get?
Well, I rolled a 6, but I can't remember what my bonus is. And just it is
I've got a dirty 10.
8.
Okay. So Win is still looking around. And Jay notices that this dim light is coming from almost like a bioluminescent fungus that's growing from the walls and the hanging from the ceiling in tendrils. This is most likely the quote unquote mushroom realm that Harlock mentioned.
Okay.
So you travel a little further in, and this is about, I'd say, 10 feet wide, enough for both of you guys to kind of walk side by side, so it doesn't have to be a marching order. It is only about 8 feet tall. It is a very cramped space for being big enough for both of you to walk in. And fairly uneventful. You see some little insects crawling around, some little bioluminescent insects, some of them munching on the fungus. But eventually you come to what looks like a slightly larger cavernous room with stalagmites jutting up from the ground every so often. This seems to be like a 40-foot room. The ceilings are tall enough that you can't see them very well because it's a much wider space, so the fungus isn't giving off as much of a glow. Do you guys have dark vision?
I do.
I do.
Okay, so you can tell that the ceiling is up there, but it's pretty high. I'd say 20 feet. And of course, stalactites hanging down. Both of you once again roll a perception check.
Learned from the first time. It's not gonna go
You-
well. Okay.
So one of us has got to roll well at some point.
19.
Oh,
4.
okay. So
I should have looked
well,
at your stats.
while Jay is inspecting a stalactite,
I'm not looking at rocks, man.
you're like, ooh,
With his
stalactites.
head?
Uh,
With their head. Sorry, with
Yeah.
their head.
Wynn notices kind of scattered on the ground closer to the middle of the room, some just a random assortment of things. At first glance, it seems to be junk. It could be anything really, but it's definitely not something that's meant to be there. Would you guys, well, what do you do?
How far away from the pile of junk are we?
20 feet.
Can I move up 10 feet and do an investigation check on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the stalagmite.
14.
Okay, so you move up 10 feet, and again, most of it seems kind of like just scattered, like these might be the remains of the items of the people who have disappeared. But you do notice a slight glint from some of the some of the dim light. You notice a glint on what looks like a goblet, like a golden goblet. And this is Wynn that notices this because Jay is kind of just meandering around.
Sapphire and the stalagmite.
Yeah.
Jay likes to focus very closely on things.
Okay. No.
Exactly.
Does it seem out of place with the other things I see there? Like what person from the town would be bringing a golden goblet?
Roll an insight check. Roll an insight check.
Why not? It's terrible. Oh, that's okay. 8.
8. It doesn't seem out of place in the sense that you're worried. I mean, it definitely looks valuable compared to the other items scattered around, but you don't know who was down there. It could have been traders, it could have been merchants, it could have been adventurers.
I want to approach where the goblet is, and I want to take out my dagger and try, presuming that it has some sort of handle on it or handles, and see if I can pick it up on the blade of my dagger.
So you can kind of move it around. So I picture more of like a sorry, I should have said chalice. It's more like a chalice. So there's no handle. But you can stick your dagger inside the cup part of it and kind of lift it up.
Over.
Yeah. And as you do that, You uh hear a noise behind you, and you hear in a very high pitched, almost whisper, but high pitched, "They're here, let's get them!" And roll for initiative,
Fuck.
both of you.
Oh.
That
Um,
is 17 for me.
Ruh-roh.
17.
10 for me.
Something interrupting my rock time.
Oh, okay. Let me get this up real quick. All right. So, as you whip around because you hear this voice, you see a very small, almost like hunched over, um, possibly humanoid. You can't really tell. It's very, very pale, very gaunt, but very tiny, with two, with a tiny little scimitar in his hand. And
Aw.
he points to you and says, "Get him!" And you see three more kind of come out from behind the stalactite that he's standing on. And the combat order. Sorry, I should have had those rolls
That's okay.
pre-prepared.
No worries. You're only managing 7 other
good.
things. I mean, come on.
Yeah, don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
And while you're doing that, I just go, aren't you guys cute?
And so one of them goes, "Nozzle, did you hear what he just said to you? You look
Ah,
cute." And they so the one standing on the rock jumps down, and he swings violently at uh Win with his scimitar. Now he's very tiny, so he's kind of going for your
going for
kneecaps.
the knees. Yeah.
Yep, going
I'm
for your
like
knee.
Great, great,
6'2",
great.
so
Yeah.
this should be fun. Okay.
Uh, what is your uh AC?
It is 14.
Okay. He wildly misses.
Mhm.
Good.
And so he swings, but he did not jump close enough to you. Wildly misses. And now it is Jay's turn.
Okay. How far away am I from what are these called again?
You're not quite sure.
Tiny little dudes with scimitars.
Yeah,
Little guys with scimitars. Okay. The one that
little hunched
attacked
over.
Ren.
Yeah.
How far away am I from helping my friend?
I'd say you're about 10 feet.
Okay.
And how many of them are there? That's the other thing
So there's four total because there was
total,
the
okay.
one on the rock who just swung at you, and then three more kind of came out
Gotcha.
of the shadows.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. The one that swung at Wen, is that perhaps 5 feet
Oh,
close to any of the other things
Um, yeah, because the other three kind of came out from behind
at
the
the same
rock that
time?
he was. Yeah, so they're all kind of converging on Win since you were
Okay,
kind of in the back.
cool. I'm gonna run up to it and I'm gonna use Green Flame Blade. So I take out
take
my
So
quarterstaff.
that.
okay, so what is Green Flame Blade?
So I'm making a weapon attack with my quarterstaff. My quarterstaff glows with a bright green flame, and if it
Green
hits,
flame.
it's going to bounce from this thing onto one of the other things. So
Okay,
I could potentially damage 2 of them.
okay, all right.
And I have a +2 to hit. Nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay, so uh, how much damage? So that's a double damage, obviously. Now, does that
It does. Yeah.
it goes on to the next person too with the critical hit?
Yep. It's the same damage that is going to hit both people, I believe.
Okay, so roll for damage.
Yeah, I'm just gonna double check. It's suffers plus damage increase. So 1d8 fire damage from the cantrip, and then my weapon damage, I believe that is. Okay, so 2d8. That is 7 bludgeoning damage. And then for the flame damage, that is 12 fire damage. So that's 12 plus 7 is fucking 22? No, 20. I can't remember. 19?
Okay. So
19 to two things.
okay, so who were you aiming at exactly? Were you aiming at
The guy who attacked one.
okay, so Nossel, so you obliterate Nossel. He just
Yeah,
bursts
I
into
home run I home run bat swing him and the flame bounces onto the other dude for 12 damage.
All right, so for 12 damage. So the first one, Nossel, just bursts into flames, crushed by your staff, and the flame, I'm guessing the way it works is kind of jumps
It jumps
to
to
the
the middle,
second
yeah.
one, and he immediately starts screaming as his head bursts into flames and kind of runs in a circle for a second. He's like, "Ah, oh my God, help, help!" And then just kind of falls to the ground dead. So you
I give a thumbs up to Wen, and I use the rest of my movement to run up to one of the remaining two.
okay. So now it is Lisa's turn. Or sorry, Wynn's turn.
This goes. So Nassau was the one that had originally
Oh yeah,
attacked
Nossel's
me, right?
gone.
So what's the
Nossel
next?
is
What's the next closest dude?
the next one, not that you need to know his name, is Nissel. He is about 5 feet away, and 5 feet from him is Grimly.
And I'm standing 5 feet from one of them.
Yes.
Um, so I'm going to. So he's within melee range for me, or yeah, okay.
He's 5 feet. I believe that's melee range.
Yeah.
It is.
I am going to take my dagger out and I'm gonna go towards him and I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna whack him on the head with the butt of the blade.
Okay.
So I guess that's I don't know if we'd be like an unarmed attack of some kind, but
I would say it's the same attack, but it would be blunt damage instead of
blunt damage.
Yeah.
All right, go with that then. Oh, roll. That would be, sorry, pardon me, 14.
Okay, so 14 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you definitely make contact.
Okay, and I need more dice. So I am going to slow down your entire game because I can't see a D4 in my box. So I'm going to do 4 plus 3, 7 bludgeoning non-lethal damage.
Okay, so you crack the hilt of your or the pummel, I guess, of your dagger directly into his forehead, and you see he's kind of stunned. He stumbles back. You see some blood trickling down. His eyes kind of roll into the back of his head, and he kind of stumbles back against the stalactite that Nossel jumped down off of. And Grimly, the only one who has been unharmed, sees all the horrible stuff that just happened, and he runs further away from you, pulls out what looks like a little horn,
Oh
and
no.
with all of his might blows into it. You don't hear anything, but after a moment, you notice from the other side, so about another 20 feet away, you notice from another tunnel entrance, you start to hear this clickety,
No.
little
Oh,
clickety
great,
noise,
great.
No.
these little,
Damn you.
yep. And out comes not only 2 giant spiders kind of crawling on the walls to make it a little extra creepy. They're not crawling out on the ground. They're already on the walls. And behind them, still kind of in the shadow, you see a humanoid figure. and the two spiders converge on you. So I guess roll new initiative.
No, no,
For
no.
the record.
The same
Oh,
initiative.
Oh,
Do same initiative and roll initiative. Stick them
For your
somewhere.
spiders.
Yeah, stick them at
Oh.
the end of the round.
okay. Okay.
So I just went, so it's top of the order again, depending on what you roll for the spiders and the figure.
Yep. So it is. Yep. So that goes right back up to Jay. So now it's Jay's turn.
Okay.
So the spiders are like in the process of converging. So they're now about 10 feet into the cavern, which puts them about 10 feet from you guys because you guys
Also,
are in the
Michael, you
middle.
have about four minutes left. So anything you want to do, yeah, just note that you have 4 minutes left. This went by so fast.
I'm just going for it. I'm going for it.
Okay. Real quick, you said the guy who pulled up the horn, he moved away from us.
Yes.
Is it too late to do an opportunity attack and just whack him with my quarter stuff?
He has already blown into the horn,
That's
but if you
fine. I
want
don't
to
need to
whack
stop
him,
blowing the horn. I want to block.
I
I just
mean-
want to whack him.
oh yeah, he's pretty small. He's not moving too fast. So yeah, you can go for him if you want to.
Is a 15 hit?
A 15 definitely hits.
Okay. This is just the 1d8. So it's
Oh,
fine.
Grimly.
Six bludgeoning damage.
6 bludgeoning damage. Okay.
Ah.
So
D8.
so he ran a little bit away, blew into his horn, and just as he's finishing and sees triumphantly as the spiders are coming in, just bam, right on the back of the head, and he kind of stumbles forward. So, all right.
All right. So now it's actually my turn. How far
Yep.
away these spiders are there?
They are 10 feet from both of you because now you guys are kind of together.
Okay. Oh, they're 10 feet above me?
No, okay, so they've dropped from the walls.
Oh,
They're
okay.
now on the
Okay.
ground.
Gotcha. Are they pincer attacking us or are they both in front of us?
They are in front of you. They are coming
Okay.
straight for you guys.
Cool. I cast Thunder Wave.
Oh, no. Okay. How does that work again?
It's a wave of thunder's energy, a 15-foot cone in front of me. Both of them need to give me a Constitution saving throw. DC 13.
All right, Constitution saving throw. So spider number 1 is a 15.
Saves.
Yep, and spider number 2 is a 4.
So that is, oh, I rolled really bad. That's 4 damage to the one who failed their save, 2 damage to the one who saved, and the one who failed gets pushed back 10 feet.
Okay.
3 and a 1 on the dice.
What was the damage again? I apologize. The
4 total, and then for the spider who saved, halved to 2.
okay. So as the spider kind of gets pushed back and the other one kind of stumbles a bit from the damage, the character or the person who was standing in the shadows steps forward, and I want Win to roll a perception check.
Oh. That one. Plus my bonus. I can't remember if I get to add it or not, but it would be a 3, but it was a nat one.
Okay, so you immediately drop your weapon in shock. So now you're unarmed as you see a much older, much more hardened, gaunt Tav step out, 2 swords in hand. And that's where we're going to end it.
Hell yeah. Hey, I know we're gonna get there in a second, but I have a huge kudos I want to give you in a second.
Go.
Okay, rad choice to have a nat 1 perception check not fail to recognize the person, but instead have a combat penalty. Because now they have to pick
Yeah.
up the fucking weapon. Like that,
Yeah.
that's a very good decision.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as she said I have 4 minutes, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I can't have this go anywhere. So a nat 1 can't be a nat 1. So.
Yeah.
But thank you.
But it's a good way to do it. It's a really good way to do it.
Yeah.
So agree. Oh my God. Can you believe that was 30 minutes? That went by
No.
so fast.
That felt like 15.
I know. And there's not, we didn't even get to a lot of the stuff that I know Michael had prepared. Michael, first
Yeah.
I want to ask you, how was that?
I feel like, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like I hit my stride pretty quick. I was kind of fumbly in the beginning. I was debating in my head, milliseconds of should I even have them talk to Harlock? Should I just have that be a description and they start in the tunnel, which obviously they should have. It would have saved us a few minutes. Um, but yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know that I agree because like what was your intention? Like did you think of an intention for yourself?
What
Or
do you
did you
mean?
think that was on me? I was like, the other DMs, I'll stop at the beginning and go, what is your intention? But remember, I was like, oh, do you want to have good role play, or do you want to have measurable combat or anything like that? Did you have an intention? Doesn't matter if
I
you
kind
didn't.
of wanted it to be a mix of both because,
Okay.
I kept telling myself it was only 30 to 40 minutes. So I wanted some interaction.
Yeah.
So, like some improv interaction. So I
Well,
figured that was good with Harlock.
yeah, I think so. So we also got some like because the player characters were it seemed like denizens of the Underdark in some way. They were like asking questions that let us know, oh, they're interested in this environment. Like there's something about this environment that they think they should know, or they think that they there is a history here. And so yeah, the having it be a person giving some expository information rather than perception check, investigation check, I thought was actually really great. Obviously, whatever this encounter is, I'm very interested to see this conversation. But yeah, no knocks on doing role play at the beginning too.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, thank you.
What worked, Michael? What worked?
Um, I was afraid in the beginning that I would have too many enemies, and well, they wiped them out very quickly. So
Something,
I
something,
feel like,
Thunderwave. Yeah.
yeah, so I feel like the whole you telling us to just kind of know when to jump cut to the next part, I didn't have to do that as much, because everything kind of flowed pretty naturally.
Yeah, for sure. I will say Green Flame Blade that that wasn't exactly how the spell works. There was
Yeah,
some extra
I,
damage that it isn't true, but I was like, whatever, it's fine.
There.
yeah, I think I read it wrong, and it was so long I didn't want to take too much
Yeah,
time with
yeah,
the.
and so it did extra damage, and everyone felt like a hero. So who cares?
Uh,
Um, but it might have been a more balanced combat than you thought. Um, okay, what else worked?
Um, well, well, obviously, you and I talked earlier today. I didn't get to any of the backstory of Tav, but I feel like I did get the reaction I wanted um out of Lisa the second I said, "Okay, it's your turn to roll perception."
Yeah.
Um,
I do think you actually, I mean, it seemed seamless, but like when you moved to the second wave and when you moved to the combat and all of that, I think you did cut to. Like if this were a longer game, there would have been more. I know for a fact that we talked about a little bit more with just the stuff that you had planned, a little bit more in town too, a little bit more of like what the exposition really was. And you did cut through like the entire walking to where they were going to have the combat anyway. Like there were a lot of cuts that you did do in the moment that in a normal game you wouldn't have had to do so many.
yeah,
Not to mention, like you said, the backstory, the seed planting of like what what the rumor was based on what actually is true. You kind of just in the moment, which I think was great because we did get that fun Lisa reaction, shaking her head like no, no, no. But yeah, okay. So anything else that you're proud of yourself for?
no, that's pretty much it. I'm just glad that I got to go first and set the bar pretty low. So,
Not
Pretty high, my guy,
Talk
pretty
about my
high.
friend that way.
not
So,
low. Okay, players, yeah, go for
yeah,
it.
the first thing I was gonna say is kudos to you, friend, for being the first one to go, because you are setting the bar now I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, how do I start? How much intro do I give? And like to have you do it first without anyone else setting you up. Awesome. Second, loved your NPCs. Oh my God, you name them. They were like cute little guys that I just wanted to put my hand on their head and just like push them away. Like it was great.
Mm.
And then you threw the thing that I'm most scared of in the entire world at me, and it was just like the perfect level of panic. I would like to have played that for another 5 minutes because it would have been hilarious having Jay try
So
to get me out of my fetal
yeah,
position. But
I mean, not to go too much into what I didn't get to, but
yeah,
I did have kind of a timer in mind for
For
you
sure.
of your fear rising as
oh
you
yeah,
guys are fighting these spiders.
oh yeah,
Mm.
I'd be rolling everything at disadvantage. It would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something else that I want to give kudos for, because I noticed as well during the time we did homework together, you're very, very good at using NPC dialogue to set an emotional tone
Thank you.
and to set the scene through NPC dialogue. That's a very, very good skill to have.
Yeah. Thank you. When I used to read, when I do read, there are times when I'm like, there's too much information. I'll just find the dialogue bits and
Yeah,
kind
no,
of
but that's
skim
so
through.
real.
Yeah. I'm definitely a dialogue person.
Yeah, 100%.
I wrote down a bunch of stuff that I liked, and I'm just gonna call it out because these are things that you did naturally that I was like, yeah, great. Named Little Torchlight.
Yep.
That's so good. Like it's such a good name. Of course, Drow lived there. They wanted to secure their payment, and you go, yes, it's this. We'll get you some trinkets, but we don't have time. You need to leave now.
Yeah.
That was
Mhm.
that was just so natural for you, and like obviously the meta of it is like we don't have time, we have 30 minutes, but like in game a ticking clock is always gonna serve you. um letting Jay roll a history check to see if they knew about this spot was really cool. uh do 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 the change. Oh, you changed. You were like, one of you roll perception, and they were like, can we both? And you were like, yeah. And that was, yes, that was
Mm.
correct. Like everything about that was like, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't I let them? So in the moment, like you're like adjusting and being flexible. It's so small and nuanced, but it's like that does to me, that's like what a good dungeon master does. And maybe the next time you do this, you'll be like, everyone roll, or like actually you specifically, or like you'll think a little bit, I don't know, you'll do the math of who's actually rolling the perception check. But I like that you changed it because it was like, wait, why wouldn't I let this other person roll perception? It was great. Really great dimensions about what the tunnels looked like. That somehow for me like secured what we were walking through. Stalagmites and stalactites, I see you, very good. Letting the green flame blade go off, literally going, all right, what does green flame blade do? Perfect. Yes, that is dungeon mastering. Oh, you have a video game control button you'd like to press? Tell me what it does. I don't know, because I'm prepping 30 million other things, so you do you. That was perfect. Changing it from slashing damage or piercing damage to bludgeoning damage in the moment. Clutch, like expert. Just the fact that you have the knowledge of the vocabulary of what's going on with the damage is perfect. I don't know if any of you have looked at the death or going to 0 hit points rules recently. But that the non-lethal, or like being able to choose not to kill someone, is definitely a thing. If there's any, I think we talked about last time that some of the rules worth looking into, what you do on a turn and going to 0 hit points. So that was letting that happen. Yes, you did non-lethal damage, absolutely. I also clocked the glee in your fucking face when the spiders came out was insane. It was like, oh, I hate it when a dungeon master gets that sparkle in their eye. and you, my friend, had it. It was like the glee was palpable. Naming the gnomes, I'm stealing that. I've never named, I don't name my monsters normally, but there was something about it that was just, it made it creepier somehow, that like, oh my god, these gnomes have families. You know,
They are family. They all had really similar names.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, they're like brothers and something. You're
They
like,
follow
oh
a
god.
social pattern.
Yes,
Horrifying.
yes, there's something about them that makes it. And then this isn't another thing, but Thunderwave, this is only from having built these characters and choosing these spells. Thunderwave is now a cube. It's not a.
It's a cube.
Oh,
It's a cube. And I only know that from literally this class building out spells and stuff with you guys.
Oh yeah, sorry. I said wave, but it does say 15-foot cube. Yeah.
You said cone.
Yeah, I think I thought it was cone.
It was
I
cone.
read it.
Oh,
I read it wrong in my
gotcha.
head.
Look, it's all
Damn it,
fine.
Jay.
Does it matter? Not really. It just there's like the little nerdy I'm actually in my brain is going
Well, it's
on.
always good to have.
Yeah. I thought you did an excellent job. Also knowing what you prepped, like getting through it in this truncated time was expert. The only thing I would love to have seen more. Michael, now that you're a dungeon master, do you have any advice for people going next week?
Do not stress over prepping. Well, as Amy knows, I had a really rough weekend with work, and I worked like every second I had to do this, and I didn't think I had enough, and I had about 4 times what I needed. So, yeah, that's the best advice I can give.
I love that. We also, for those of you, I'm very available. I make myself available. Obviously, the day before or the day of Tuesday is like a hot commodity. So if you do want to have a conversation with me, and I know that you're doing other stuff in between now and then, but Monday and Tuesday, like get on my calendar. We can set a phone call. I was on the phone with Michael, and we didn't change anything really. I was really just validating all the choices that he made. And I felt really good about it, everything that he did, and so did he. It was just something that he needed, and if you need it, I get it. Yes, and I'm here to do that. I'm happy to. I get off on it. I really like seeing other people's ideas. I love it. And there were what, like almost no edits. It was just like me going like, oh, think about this. It didn't matter. Like nothing I said really mattered. It was just like, this is great.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all you did was, yeah, I think add a little more flavor text to some of your environments, but aside from that,
Yes.
yeah, it was more praise than anything, which I appreciate.
Yeah, and it wound up being just fine. And so anyway, for those of you next week who want anything like that, you have my number, and I'd love to look at stuff with you guys. Because everything's easier than you think. Like that's the whole theme of Dungeon Master School is like, you actually, you can do this, like it seems scary, and you can do this. Great. Lisa, yes.
I just wanted to add to that. It seemed like the natural time that this was the first week I've ever shared anything with Amy before I've done something. I also shared it with Steven, because for my DMing bit that we'll talk about in a bit, like hours from now. Great. Like it was really nerve-wracking, and I'm always like, no, I just do it myself, it'll be fine. But I was like, what is the harm in sharing it with Amy? And like same thing, Michael, like very positive feedback, lots of encouragement, and a couple of pieces of feedback from Amy and a piece from Steven that I actually was like, oh my God, I had a great idea of how to address the thing that they had pointed out as maybe a potential blocker. And it's so I can't encourage you enough to share information. Reach out to me if you want me to read anything. I love doing feedback. I've given feedback. Kim, by the way, I put some feedback on yours today. So.
Yeah, it is. When I did DM school this first time, or the last summer, I would also send like little mindset videos that I'm not including this time but the first thing I'd said is DMing is not a solo operation.
No.
And that's true. It's like, duh, at the table, you have your collaborators, they are your players. However, there's not been many games where I've got a friend, I'm running Strahd right now, and I call him and I'm like, hey, what did you do for this thing? And I do that often, on obviously like on paid gigs, they have story producers, like that you've got a director, you've got someone to bounce stuff off of, but also in your home games, like your partner, like run stuff. They're storytellers too. They're humans. They may not know the mechanics, but you've got the mechanics. And so bouncing off of God, and then bouncing off of ideas from other dungeon masters. Are you fucking kidding me? There's just these things that are like, oh, have you thought of this? Or my brain works kind of differently, but towards the same goal of dungeon mastering. I mean, you have 7 other people in this class, and 8, including me, that you will always have access to. And all we want to do is hear more stories. Like every single dungeon master is like, what story are you telling? Like everyone's hungry for it. It's like so exciting when people are creating like this. So I just, even if you think I got this, just who knows what nugget's going to creep in and go, whoa, that's such a good idea, or I forgot about this. And yeah, great. Okay, wait, I think it's something I like, that sounding board for our future campaigns, if you're up for it. Absolutely, I sure am.
And I think that's what I see a lot in your channel, is people that have interacted with you previously are coming back and started crowdsourcing stuff, which is really super cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's definitely it isn't like I set out to. I can't help it. I love this, and I love community, and I think it's really, really important, and it just doesn't have, you don't have to go it alone, and that's a big tenet of mine. Okay, any other any other questions or thoughts? Any reasons why we love Michael very much? You got it. That's it. There's 4 times 30. You've got a good 2-hour campaign. Add 1 or 2 more little scenes or NPC interactions, and you've got a session, no problem. And then chaos, and then the players will do whatever the fuck they do, and who knows? Like, also, I know that goblet had some extra shit going on with it, so you've got control only to a point anyway. But well fucking done. I'm so happy. Who's next? I think it's Kim. Are you next? No? Oh, that face doesn't look. Yeah, you are next, actually.
I'm next for you, DM.
Yeah, Michael, Kimberly, Steven, then Lisa. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Kimberly, you're DMing for Brent and Michael.
Yes.
Godspeed.
Okay. All right, Brent and Michael, if you could just take 2 seconds to just say your character name and say what you are so that everybody can kind of put the character to the face.
You want to go first?
Sure, go ahead.
Sure.
Michael, go
Talon. First. Oh, Michael, go first.
All right. I am a turtle. I'm 45 years old. And my name is Torpus. And I'm a druid.
And Brent.
My character is Talon. He is an elf monk.
Yeah. All right. So, Talon and Torpus, it has been about a year since you guys stumbled on each other in the swamp of the Weirwood. Torpus saving the life of a very grateful Talon and deciding to keep each other company on this road. You recently wrapped up a job for coin, sort of adventuring job for coin, where the very grateful person who hired you gave you not only some money, but a gift, which is a hat of disguise. And Talon, you had already planned to go to your sister Mira's home and leave some of that coin for her, as you have done many, many times before. But it has been years since you have actually been able to communicate with Mira, to see her in person, and her being deaf like she is, to actually be in her presence and possibly communicate with her through sight. So, and Torpus agrees that probably the best use of this hat is to be able to not only send this money through, couriers or anything like that, is you could actually deliver it to her yourself, but in a disguise, because after all, she doesn't know that you're alive. And given the criminal background that you have, it might put her at risk if she were to know. So, Talon and Torpus, you are now entering the city of Delphas and approaching Mira's home. It is a very, very humble little apartment on the first floor of a building. The money that you've been giving her has been helping keeping her in a modest life, but it's still very, very humble. And you are now approaching the structure. There's a old beggar across the street. You recognize him having been there, for years and years and years. That is his corner. You're approaching and Talon, you have the hat in your hands. What are you doing?
First, exactly how intricate is the disguise that I could come up with this?
So with a hat of disguise, you can completely change your look with the exception of you can't really add too much height or add or subtract too much height. You can, but you can go pretty far. It's basically a disguise self spell, but without the spell
Gotcha.
magic that you would need for it.
Okay, I will. Well, since I'm traveling with a turtle, I will make myself look like a pretty tall turtle.
So next to Turpus, who, has this big shell and all this moss on his back and, little twitch just kind of peeking out. Next to him appears a much cleaner turtle in the form of Talon, little leaner, kind of looks like the Ninja Turtles from the 90s, trying to make them look a little buff, but it works. It's enough to disguise you. And both of you start to approach the building. I would like both of you to make a perception check.
Nat 20.
Nat 20?
Yep.
15.
15.
So 14.
14. Okay. Both of you notice, but Michael, I think you notice first and you kind of stay, reach out your hand to stay your comrade. As you're approaching the door and like about Talon,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's 17. Sorry.
17?
I rolled.
Okay, so
Yeah,
both
I
of
looked
you
at. Yeah.
roughly then, both of you kind of like Talon, your hand is literally about to knock and when suddenly you see that the door jamb right around where the lock secures is splintered, as if somebody broke it down previously.
Talon,
Oh,
I don't think we should go in there.
I I don't hear that. There's a ringing in my ears, and I am cautious, but I will slowly push the door open. I have
Okay.
to see what's happening.
You push the door and you notice there was not even any resistance. It wasn't locked. The lock was completely pulverized. There is nothing stopping the door from creaking open and just kind of going with gravity and sliding open. And as you carefully creep in, you notice that the only sound you hear is the little squeaking of a mouse that is currently on the kitchen table, eating at food that looks like it's been left there for a couple days. It smells like rotten meat. There are flies starting to gather around it. The dining table chair is on the ground, and you notice what looks to be like a kitchen knife. It's definitely not something you would use in combat. A kitchen knife is next to it with what looks to be dried blood on the blade.
Oh my. So a couple of days. Oh, I will just to make sure. I'll. Can I make a perception check to see it? How long does this look? How long it's been
Sure.
since this took place?
Yeah, go ahead.
That is a 16.
16? Based on how much of the food has rotted and like how it's not too fragrant, but it's, obviously the ants are starting to get at it. But the meat kind of smells a little rare. It smells about 2 days.
Okay. Okay. Um, and with the amount of dried blood that's on the knife, is there any other blood throughout the room? Like, does it look like someone's been murdered here?
Make a
Is
medicine
what I'm
check.
going for. Medicine check. Oof. That would be 7.
7?
Yep.
There's only blood on the knife. So it doesn't look like anybody in here, if they did bleed out, it was somewhere else. So there's only blood on the knife and a little bit on the ground where it fell.
Okay.
Can I cast Speak with Animals on the mouse?
Yes, go ahead.
I forget how to
Nice.
do spells all of a
I think
sudden.
I think you just say speak with animals.
Okay.
So, with Twitch kind of looking over your shoulder, kind of like, yeah, do it, man, do it. You cast speak with animals, and the mouse kind of looks up at you and then is about to scurry away, but kind of sees Twitch and is like, oh, he has a mouse friend. He can't be too bad. And so the mouse kind of looks up at you.
What happened here?
Well, about a couple days ago, I was just hiding in my hole over there by the baseboard, and these big creatures came in and kind of banged down the door. And the nice elf lady who used to live here, she ran away, but she couldn't run too fast. They came in and they took her.
What kind of creatures?
Well, there was a big gray one. He was taller than the rest of them. And then there was kind of a purple one that kind of had a really sour face and had little horns, kind of like a goat. And then there was a shorter feller, not as short as me, of course. There was a shorter fella that was like really hairy. But and the shorter feller, well, he got cut real bad right on the face.
Uh, Talon, what do you think?
So you relay all this to me.
Yes. This is
yeah.
what the mouse said.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm distracted. I love the mouse so much. Um, what do I think? I have to find Drill. That's all there is to it. He did this.
Make another perception check for me.
18.
18. As you're kind of like hand on your head, you're just kind of looking around like, holy shit, like what do I do? What do I do? You see another dagger that has kind of been stuck into the other side of the door, you know, like hook style that you didn't see
Mhm.
before because you opened the door. You recognize this dagger. It's a dagger that an old friend of yours used to carry, and on
Mhm.
the door is a note that says "Welcome home," signed.
Oh. All right. I know where to go.
You know where to go.
We will. Well,
The last
you said it's
for the
been a
sake of
year.
time, I'll say that the last time you knew him, you knew that he really likes using the sewers to get around.
Okay, so yeah, I will leave the apartment, not even bothering to close the door, and I will head straight to the nearest manhole I can find,
Okay.
and make my way into the sewers, see if I can pick up a trail.
Alan, you before Turpus can even slowly turn his head to see what's going on, Talon is out the door, clunking on the pavement. Now you know this area well, so you can quickly find a storm drain, and by the time Turpus catches up, you are already lifting up the grate and wrenching it off to the side. Luckily, people around this side of town are kind of like, look, I'm not going to ask. It's not my business. And you are starting to make your way down the drain. Turpus, are you following?
I'm following right in as long as I fit in that manhole.
Make an athletics check.
Oh, uh-oh. 7.
7. Here's the thing. You fit, but you have to push yourself so hard that it's kind of like a cork coming out of a champagne bottle. So instead of going down the ladder that Talon had found, you kind of plop yourself down into the sewer water. You suffer about
Oh,
1 point of bludgeoning damage as you get right on the tailbone, man. Like just like, but you know you land in water, so well, not the best water, but you do land and kind of it cushions your fall a bit. So now you are in the sewers. These are pretty narrow. They're about 10 feet wide, about 20 feet tall. Every once in a while, there is another entrance up to the street, but you pass it because, Tal, you kind of know where you're going. And on the side are ledges. They're about 3 feet wide, and they're very slippery because, let's face it, with the exception, with on top of all the fungus and crap that is growing on it, there is also, well, crap on it. So you guys are now walking through the sewers. Tal, you kind of remember that, I think the hideout was downstream, so you are literally following the flow of shit as you are walking through. And as you are going, for you guys both, I need you to make a stealth check.
6.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. Tal, you're pretty nimble. You're a monk. You're like, balancing on the side. Like, this would be considered difficult terrain. You're kind of, moving really, hard because, you would prefer not to be wading through shit. Torpus, you weren't built for delicate movement. And the fact that you're in your shell, it kind of has a width of 3 feet to begin with. So you keep falling in. And you keep falling in. And after one very big fall, and Tal reaches out his arm and pulls his buddy up, you're not at risk of drowning. You're a turtle, but like you're getting pretty mucky. You start to hear something from the tunnels. And at first you think it's like maybe your ears are ringing because it's kind of tinnitus-y. It's screeching. Lots of screeching and rustling and the sound of scratching. And you look behind you, and on the sides of the platform, coming fast from about 60 feet away, is a swarm of sewer rats. And they are booking it towards you. What do you do?
I don't have anything that looks like a shield. So yeah, I'll just brace, have my bow staff, and I'll just brace and
Okay.
kind of wait for the wave to pass.
Wait for the
It
wave.
does.
So you are hunkering down. You're still on the sides. You're just kind of waiting with the bow staff. Turpus, what do we got?
I kind of squat down and kind of shove Twitch deeper into my shell.
Twitch is
And
just kind of like, yeah, no, F this, and just kind of goes in like in between your shell. He's going to be able to use whatever protection you have for his own, so we don't have to worry about poor Twitch.
so I kind of
But
crouch down and I hold up my buckler.
hold out your book. Okay, and so this swarm of rats starts to come towards you, and it is rushing, and you brace yourself for the wall, and they kind of go around you. Some of them rush into the water, and even though the water kind of sizzles, you can kind of tell that it's like this water's probably very toxic on top of everything. They are throwing caution to the wind. They are possibly not attacking, but they might be running from something.
Mm.
You look past them, and there is a movement in the water that is kind of the same color as the water, and this gurgling, bubbling sound as you see a creature coming up from the water about 30 feet away. And at first you think, oh my God, whatever this thing is, it is just covered in shit. And then you realize it is shit.
Oh,
This is an excremental. I need you all to roll initiative.
Oh no, a nat 1.
Oh no. You can still, for this, you can still use your dex bonus for this. It's nat ones aren't a failure for me for initiative.
My dex bonus is -1, so
Negative
less
one.
than
Okay,
less
you're
than a
okay.
1.
Gotcha.
oh.
Cal, what you got?
16.
16? Okay.
Poor Torpus, he's just not having it.
Okay.
So,
Pick the wrong day to leave the swamp. All right, so Tal, you're up first. You see this lumbering monster. It's about like 15 feet tall, and like as it moves up, it's basically just the worst cross between a water and an earth elemental, just kind of as it's coming towards you. And it looks pissed. No pun intended. What do you do?
How far away is it at this point?
Right now, it's kind of lumbered. It's probably about like 20 feet away from you at this point. Each of its steps is like a 5-foot gate. It's just kind of limbering towards
Oh.
you. And the rats are like, peace, and have cleared out.
Oh, I know that we are not going. I mean, it's going to come at us, and it's probably 5 feet. Then it's definitely going traveling faster than we can, especially Porpoise. So I will close the distance and use my staff to strike.
Okay, go for it.
Okie dokie, and that is a nat 20.
Nat 20
Oh,
hits. All right, double your
yes.
dice and then add your modifiers.
Oh, where is my 2d8? All right. And 8, 7. So that's 15, 1, and 3. So that's what, 17, 19.
19 points of damage? Awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
Bludgeoning, if that matters.
So this literal piece of shit comes lumbering towards you, and as it strikes, you can kind of see that the wound goes in, and even it's a little surprised that it made so much damage. It kind of looks down, but now you made it pissed, and it is going to take a slam attack on you. Okay, that is 7.
Misses.
Misses. In this shitty rage, it sweeps wide, but you're a monk. You're nimbler than that, and you just duck. And the shit just kind of splatters up against the wall. It takes another couple steps towards you, trying to bridge the gap. You're now about like within 5 feet of each other. And it just kind of dripping and lording over you. Okay, Turpus, it's your turn.
Did you say there was kind of stuff growing in the kind of muck growing in the
There is like algae, like kind of that kind of like whatever you would see kind of in a very damp basement. So there is some mold and fungus and stuff that is kind of on the side.
Okay, then I'm going to get a little creative then. Can I use the moss and mushrooms on my own back to cast Entangle?
You can. Go for it.
Okay, so I'm going to shoot out. See how this guy works again. Grass plant, 20-foot. All right, so I just have to roll a 7, which I don't think.
7 doesn't hit. You you try to grasp, and unfortunately it's the moss is just a little too puffy. It doesn't make the vine like you thought it would. And the sloppy monster just kind of slips off of him, and he just kind of as he leers down at you. Tal, you're up.
I will strike again.
All right, go for it.
And that's a nat 1.
And that one. So you got, that last hit was so good. You're like, I got this. It's literally a piece of shit. I got this. And you try to fire. And as you fire, you also start to slip off the ledge. I need you to make a dexterity check. Sorry, a dexterity saving.
Oh. Dexterity saving throw. That would be. And I am, I think. Let's see. You said just dexterity. Saving throw. Yeah. I rolled a 3. Where is my
Okay.
saving throw? I'm not sure I failed that. So yeah.
Okay, so as you hit the water, You don't take any physical damage, but you do notice that just the stench of it and the shit and whatever toxicness of this, I need you to make a constitution save. It's
Okay.
just starting to fill your nostrils and get everywhere. Oh,
Constitution. That would be a 5.
5.
Yeah.
You are now poisoned for until the end of next turn, so you have disadvantage on your d20 checks, I believe. Is okay. So next is the excremental. He is going to make another slam attack at you. Okay, that's a 19. This is to Tal.
Oh, 19 hits.
Okay. You two.
Bad round.
You keep hitting him, he's pissed. You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as it's kind of slaps across you. You're in the water, so you're kind of already covered in shit, but now you kind of you're looking like you got the bad end of a mud spa. All right. Turpus, how about how far away from you right now? How far back from Tau were you when this started?
I'm not sure. I know I was behind him.
Behind him? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just keeping track of ranges.
Yeah.
Okay, you're up.
Okay. So I am going to fumble in my little satchel and pull
Mhm.
out a stone, and I'm going to use magic stone, and I'm going to throw that thing right at his face.
Okay. Fighting
So,
shit with kidney stones. Let's go.
uh, 15.
15 hits. Roll damage.
Yep. Roll damage. I should have these dice prepared. It is 2 plus 2 bludgeoning, or 2 plus 2 bludgeoning damage, so 4.
4. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you can start to see like this 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 excremental is starting to look pretty rough, and it's kind of like struggling to even keep itself up and keep form as it's starting to lumber towards you both. And then as you both are starting to get pretty tired just trying to start taking this down, let's see. You see a blade suddenly cutting through it right in the middle, bisecting it. It's this glimmer of silver against this brown mass. And just as this monster was about to possibly engulf you both, it just kind of starts to slide down at the middle and just disintegrate into the sewers. And
Ugh.
behind the monster, kind of half in a boat, 1 foot in a boat, 1 boot kind of on the ledge, you see this tall gray Goliath with studded leather armor, and he's leaner but very muscular than most Goliaths you've seen, and kind of has a stateliness to him. And next to him is a very surly looking dwarf with a about 2-day-old fresh gash that's just kind of going down the side of his face, kind of looking very huffy and obviously doesn't want to be there. But the Goliath looks to Tal and just goes, "Heard you were coming and figured you could use my help. Welcome home, brother."
Where's Mira?
"I can bring you to her, but it'll cost us a conversation. So, do you willing to come quietly? Then you can see your sister again." And he kind
She
of
better not
nods.
be harmed.
"I don't want to
I'll,
harm. I don't want to harm you."
mm,
You hurt me when you left, but that can be made good. Come on. And he hops into the boat, kind of grabs one of the oars. Figure you don't want to slug through shit anymore.
All right. I'll look over at Torpus and just tell him you don't have to do this if you don't want. And I just walk forward and enter the boat.
Okay. Torpus?
I go where Tal goes.
Whoa. All right. Both of you get in. Torpus, the boat kind of goes a little when you get in, but it settles. And the dwarf kind of looks up at you, kind of sees your stocky frame, and is like, respect. But he's definitely a new member of the crew, Tal. You don't recognize this dwarf, but he kind of looks at you pissed as if you're the reason that his day was ruined, and judging from his face, your sister was the reason his other day was ruined. So kind of makes you grin a little. And you guys start following the flow of the sewer water down towards the opening where it empties into the river, going towards what looks like an abandoned water mill. And as you come up beneath the mill and he kind of parks the boat, goes up this rickety stair, you enter what is a very, very tiny room. It can't be more than 40 feet square. It's built over the river itself. And so whenever you look down, and you kind of have to walk gingerly because the wooden floors themselves are crumbling. This abandoned mill has been abandoned for many, many decades. And so you have to kind of watch gingerly as you see the rushing water underneath. And as you enter the room, you see a purple-skinned tiefling that's kind of leaning, looking very bored and also surly. And sitting next to her is Mira, your sister. And you notice that she's not moving. She's sitting very, very stiff, but her eyes, as always, they usually are so expressive. And when they see you, they widen, but you notice that she doesn't move, and she doesn't attempt to call out or try to speak. Even though she's deaf, she can say a few words, and she doesn't try to communicate. She just looks at you like she's seen a ghost. And Drell kind of
I will pull up my hand when I see her, and I will give her a sign that she knows that states that everything's going to be okay. It's something we did as children. I will just sign to it just so that no one else can see it. It'll just be a hand gesture, almost like, and then I can roll stealth speed like.
I think that's where we'll end it too.
Oh.
Holy cow. Wow. Ding dang. So great. Kim, how was that?
It was good. One of my goals, I had two goals going into this.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that even though this was a Tal driven narrative, that Turpus had moments to shine. Like, I wanted to make sure that we're like, here's some moment where you can use your speak with animals, and he totally took that opportunity. Like, I wanted to make sure that there were moments where water would be a part of it, so that, like, I wanted to give Turpus moments where he could save the day, since the story itself wasn't necessarily geared towards him, so that all the PCs could feel active and important in the situation. And the other was trying to keep combat fast. I wanted to make sure that combat felt like it was going at a steady pace, to kind of match the energy of what you would feel if you were actually combating a huge ass pile of shit.
Yeah, the jokes moved us right along. How about that first one, Torpus? Michael, how did Kim do to include Torpus?
I think she did really well. It gave me a chance to use my voice I've been working on. I mean, I don't feel like it was more my choice, but I don't feel like I did a whole lot. I just threw a magic rock at a pile of shit. But I had fun. I thought it was really good. Yeah.
But let me ask you from just a player's point of view, like, it was very clear, yes, this is Tal's story. Was that okay for you as a player?
Yeah, yeah. There were moments where I wasn't sure if I should jump in, because of how quick everything was moving.
Yeah. In a real
But
game, though, you would know who you were attached to.
exactly, yeah. But it did not feel like anything on Kim's part. It was more of the time restraint.
Yes, yes, I appreciate that. Everyone's being like a really generous player at the moment and like not being a stinker and like playing the game that the Dungeon Master has set. But yeah, I think I still maintain that like you do only need to prep for one character and the rest of the people will be assigning meaning to it, and it'll be very exciting to see some secrets revealed or like the past revealed, like whoa, this guy's got a sister, whoa, there's like someone in the past, like it's a moment where like we as players, we want to have spotlight, but it's also we want to watch and like be an audience member, like eat popcorn, yeah, watching it happen. So anyway, great job on that. I didn't realize that the rats and the speak with animals was pre cogitated. What word am I trying to say? But
I tried to have ants and mice eating the food specifically, and a beggar just in case.
amazing.
Like, how do you find out what happened? Okay, there's a human if you don't want to use speak with animals, but you could also, there's like little creatures eating the food.
Let me ask you this too. For combat, how because I think it did move quickly. What did you use that made the combat move quickly? Because you did something very specific.
So I tried to have everything written down, like, and even though I had like took already existing stat blocks and kind of changed them to meet them, I found a program that kind of makes a new stat block for you so that it still felt organized and still like.
Would you share in the Discord?
Yes, it
Or the
was.
chat?
Hold
I'll put it in
on.
the DM resources.
Let me see. I will. I'll show you what it was.
It maybe in a little bit because we'll take a break in a bit.
Yeah.
But I'll
I'll paste it in the chat. And I
Perfect.
literally just Googled stat block maker, and this is one of the ones that came up, and I found that this one was really good to work with and kind of gives you something you can print. Or like take
Awesome.
image.
Oh,
I like
this is
actually just ended
awesome.
up taking a screenshot of the stat that I created so I could plop it into, where I was organizing my notes.
Neat.
And then I yeah, just tried to like go with my gut as far as making decisions. I thought about maybe timing and telling people like, hey, you've got 1 minute to make a move, but actually Michael and Brent were making decisions quickly. So like I felt like I didn't need to add a timer to that situation. Like they were prepared and making decisions quickly. So I think that kept the pace of it. The rats could have hurt them, but the trigger would have only been if they attacked the rats. So that was like, it was like an optional first part. Like if they struck first, then the rats would like nip at them and stuff like that. But since you guys just braced yourself, it didn't really trigger any attacks from the rats.
Amazing. What do you think worked? What are you proud of yourself for and what worked?
The moments where like I did give like PC like carrots, basically like, hey, you want to talk to animals, right? Like those worked. I feel like those were picked up on, and without feeling like I was railroading anybody, like those moments worked, and the kind of the initial discovery and the emotional moments worked. I kind of wasn't really sure. A lot of like what I wasn't really sure about, like trying to move things quickly, would be solved in a regular game anyway, because it like, kind of like, okay, you get down to the stores and you're doing this and you know the way. Like, instead I would maybe want to give my players a little more initiative to be like, how do you know where the hideout is? You go this way or this way down the, like, so that felt a little awkward. Like I was just kind of like, and anyways, we get down the sewer, but it was kind of, I guess, part of what we had to do for this round.
Absolutely. Anything else really work for you?
As far as like techniques that I was using, or
just like where you're like, I mean, you said you never played D&D before. it's hard to believe that, but yeah, anything that you're just like, oh yeah, I prepped this, it went this way, or in the moment I changed it to this and it worked, or anything like that.
Yeah. I had the note on the wall prepped if I needed to quicken the scene, but I wasn't necessarily going to use it. So like I'm glad I had the contingency plans that I had, even, and they weren't really detailed. It was just like I'm glad I had those in my pocket. And I think my voices do well. Like
Yes, I agree. I
little
definitely agree. The thing I was thinking about for combat of what makes it move quickly is your descriptions after every roll. It was like, great, you succeed, great, this is what happens. Oh, you see that the ship monster looks a little worse for the wear. Like you were able to like take the attack, visualize it, and say it like seamlessly, whether it was a success or a failure. And if it was a failure, like it didn't pause. It was like, well, you whiffed, and everyone was like, yeah, I whiffed. That's fine. Like it didn't feel like emotion was tied to it or anything. It was just like, here's the story. It keeps it going. Great. Players, you want to anything that was, yeah, I really want to hear from Brent too, since it does seem like Tal's story.
So wait, you've never played D&D before? That blows
It's
my
a
mind.
lie. It's fine.
You
Yeah.
seem
I'm
yeah.
an improv actor though. I feel like I'm bringing like I'm an improv actor and
Okay,
that sort of stuff. So
sure. Okay, I guess I have to go with that. I guess I have to believe you.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was. I mean, the emotional beats were there. You literally put us through the shit, and I could tell like you probably like maybe you knew what we weren't necessarily going to defeat the shit monster, so you brought in the other guys to pull that forward, and I
you
thought that was
guys had
very
him
excellently
down
done.
like that first strike brought him down like 2/3 of his hit points. So like
Excellent.
I had Drell like in the back just in case, and I was either gonna have him clap after you finished or have him help you.
Mm.
So I was like, for speediency, let's just have him do the final blow. But yeah.
Awesome.
Michael?
I just had a lot of fun. But I'm also kind of still coming down from the high of having to run my own campaign. But
everything after this is downhill.
yeah. But no, I had a lot of fun. I thought everything you did worked really well. I loved your reference to, I don't know if that was intentional, but I loved your reference to Kevin Smith with the
Oh yeah,
shit
no,
demon.
I wish I could take credit for the term excremental that was found on the internet, and I kind of fudged it to make it more of a level 1 monster. However, I found that by being like, someone's created a shit demon. Like, come on, like someone has to have done one for 5e.
Oh, so you haven't even seen the movie?
No, I've seen Dogma.
Okay.
I was thinking of that when I was trying to find a basically equivalent of a shit element.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I felt like given the space of the sewers, there's only so much I could do. I couldn't even do melee attacks because I was like, oh, she's gonna make me like shove Tal out of the way because I'm so freaking huge. So I just kind of sat in the back and did my Eeyore voice and let Tal just kind of shine.
It's kind of funny because right before that happened, when the rats were coming, I was thinking of grabbing a Torpus and putting him in front of me as a shield.
Oh
and
my
that way you would have been on that side.
You would have gotten a +2 to your AC.
That would have been.
Oh, you would have gotten cover.
I would have. Yeah. Well, that's my main note that you didn't do that. I'm mad now.
I appreciate Brent reacting to the emotion of the situation and playing into that. That made it easy to like the fact that you were invested in the stakes of it made it easy to continue the story along. Like you could tell you were emotionally reacting to each thought of your sister being in danger.
Yeah, I did. When you messaged me and asked me about her being deaf, and I was like, "That's perfect." And so when you immediately like took her away, I was like, "What? I'm not gonna get to talk to her." And I was like, "She's gone. Wait, there's blood."
Yeah, you would have if the encounter went good, and she, as soon as she would have been continually making wisdom saving throws to beat hold person, and if she beat it, she would have joined you guys, like picked up a fallen weapon and started kicking ass. Because the
Nice,
only
nice,
reason
nice.
she's not moving is because the tiefling has her under a whole person.
Gotcha. Okay.
Very
Okay.
cool. I wrote down a few things. All right. Congrats. You knew how the magic item worked off the top of your head. That was so cool. The hat of disguise. You're very good at cause and effect sensory detail. So it's like, okay, if Mira got taken, what would be left behind? The way that you flavored that was like, oh, of course, like a few days have gone by. What would it happen? What would you see? Oh, rotten food. Oh, you'd be able to learn if you rolled a high enough investigation, you would be able to learn how many days. Like the cause and effect of what's really going on it was very palpable here. And in a similar vein, if this is true, what else? If someone was taken from their home, what is someone walking in on as an investigation? A lock broken, all of that. It's not locked anymore, of course. Why would it be? All of that is amazing. The improvised mouse and turtle dialogue gave me life. That mouse had a lot of really good descriptions. This is only kind of I wanted all of that, but Speak with Animals normally isn't so informative, but
Yeah.
the fact that it did happen, like I'm not mad about it.
This was the hedge cutting neighbor mouse that was like, oh, I have tea.
Yes, she did seem a little gossipy. She was like the guy with the scar,
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I wasn't sure if there was like a 5 questions thing with Speak with Animals, or
I
if
mean,
there's like
you
a
did great. Yeah, it's up to you. I mean, the thing is, it's because it's a lower level spell, like you would have the option if you wanted it to be a little cagier, you would have the absolute option to be like, I'm not the animal's not really that interested in it, no matter if, because that's there's animal friendship. It's not clear if they were friends yet, so it's helpful to a point, but you would have
Mouse
the
is
option.
like, I don't know you.
Yeah, you would have the option to be as cagey as you want. PC. Oh, okay, so we live for these moments when Brent goes, I know where to go, after it's Drell did, and you're like, nobody knows what that is, but the fact that it's like this shared vocabulary between, like, not nobody, but obviously you and Brent know what's going on. It's like the audience is like, hello, this, and even other PCs, if they didn't know what Drell is going on or what Brent's backstory is, they're like, yes, where do we go? Like, what are you guys telling? It's like it draws you in really quickly. Same as it's the same moment, Michael, when you revealed it's Tav, and Lisa's like, no. It's that same moment where we're like, no, wait, what? Who's Tav? Like we it makes us want to know as an audience. So you rewarded Michael or consequenced Michael when he said, yeah, if I fit down the manhole, and you're like, well, let's do make this a little difficult for you now that you mention it. So that was just like expert. Great suddenly. I love that the rats had a trigger and they didn't fight. That felt very like rewarding an action where Brent wasn't going to attack. So it's like, great, then nothing happens. Like that just felt nice and juicy and comfy. Like as a player, I like that, where it's like, oh, cool. Like it felt like winning a little bit. Oh, I was like, oh, hello, house rules. Hello, house rules. That one doesn't matter about initiative on my games, where you're like, in my games, I don't do this. And it's like, okay. And it's like,
In
oh,
my
never,
game, as in this game, as in this one game that I'm now playing.
Yes,
I
I
have
clocked
decided.
it. Yeah, it's like, okay, we're developing some house rules starting today. I love it. I love the leadership of it. Crit. Oh, this is just something I say on criticals. Over the year, dice so nice you roll them twice. Dice so nice you roll them twice, which means any damage dice, including sneak attack dice, any damage dice you roll twice, and then you add one modifier. You just you keep the modifier, but you just add it once. So the dice roll twice, the modifier gets added only once. But if you just remember dice so nice you roll them twice, it's also very fun to say. You and Michael, I said plus this to Michael for the descriptions after dice rolls, whether you succeed or fail. You both did a really good job with that. Environmental mechanics, Kim, fell in the sewer. Was that improvised, or did you have those mechanics built in, like roll a Constitution for
I had those built in. If they were in the water
Amazing.
too long, that they would take poison damage.
Perfect. Amazing. Great. Yes. In a written adventure that would be in there. And it was just, I was like, oh my God, like you're doing it. You're doing it. Yes, that's it. And then I +1 Brent for the good combat out where we had the Darrell, snicker snack through the monster. Great combat out. Obviously you had more to go and it would have been cool to see Mira do her thing too and be a badass, but yeah, fucking great. Inconceivable. You've never even played before. Inconceivable. You're a
Oh,
liar.
I do want to say,
Watching
when I was coming up with Torpus's name, Torpus is Latin for shameful and ugly. So thank you for making him even grosser, covered in shit.
And thank you for
So,
proving that I remember nothing from high school Latin.
He's
Yeah.
right at home.
They told us to take it, and it did not help our SATs.
Y'all, we're gonna take a little break. Not long. We're gonna do 5 minutes actually. So 7:56. This is just for me to take a bio break. If at any point during these and you're not in them and you need to take another break or get some food, like feel free to step away while the camera's off. Try to stay plugged in as much as you can. But 5 minutes, so 7:56. We'll get right back to the next DM. See you.
Hey.
Hello. Just relax. Take it easy.
Are we gonna
I see.
get through two more at this point?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
We'll probably run 10 minutes over. But the homework is the same as next week, so I don't have to go over that. Yeah, we'll probably run 10 minutes over, but I'll keep my little comments shorter. And 7:56. And wait, before we move on, Kim, was there any advice you have to future DMs for especially this exercise?
I mean, not to kind of piggyback off Michael, but like you don't think you think you're gonna get through much more than you do. Like I just, just echoing that. But I do like that I gave some thought, even if it was just 5 minutes, some thought to what if they wanted to go here, what if they wanted to go there, and just have like literally 2 sentences of what I would do for that plan if they did, because then I wasn't panicked like, hey, if they decide to go over here and it completely messes with my plan, it's okay. I kind of have a plan already of what I'm going to do with that. So it made me calmer in the moment.
Great. Yeah, and you can't think of every hypothetical, but thinking of some or like putting yourself in the player's body is going to be, yeah, super helpful. The other thing I'll say is, you're DMing for 2 people right now. That's barely ever going to happen. So even when you're like, oh, I have more planned than I thought, you really do, because you've got like more people who are going to want to play with the shit. You don't know, build a shit golem that already, you don't know it. So you giving him the environment is going to do the heavy lifting. On that note, Stephen, are you ready to Dungeon Master for Kim and Christopher?
Ready as I ever will be.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so I start with, do I say my intent first?
You certainly can.
Okay. I'm just trying to practice having more roleplay weaved in with combat, because usually when I DM combat, I just get super mechanical. Okay. So, Algie and William, both of you are residents of the Kingdom of Radiata, and one unfortunate year, the king has been assassinated. Now, this is a bigger deal than you would realize. This is the kind of kingdom where having a king or a queen or any sort of monarch comes with natural protection magic, which means villages aren't being attacked by monsters, trolls, ogres aren't coming down from mountains to attack farmers and bigger cities and stuff like that. Since the king has been killed, those protection magics go away until a new king or queen can be established. Now, King Joseph Rathburn and the Princess Amelia Rathburn were assassinated. The queen out of the picture. The only surviving member of the royal family is Hugo Rathburn. Now, normally, it would just be as easy as bringing the prince to the Temple of Kings to do a ritual that would formally and magically establish him as king and ruler and protector of this country. This hasn't been done because there's a demon lord hiding in this castle that has been killing people in the temple, killing people who are coming to the temple. It's been tough. It's been a tough year of trying to gather enough troops to take on this demon lord. In this time, William, your younger brother Mike, who wanted to join the Kingsguard, was drafted. He is now in the prince's personal guard now. Algie, in this time, the monastery that you worked at was attacked. Most of the priests died. However, Abbot Aberforth is still alive and serving as advisor to the prince. You two met when you were adventuring and trying to usher people to safety, and you ended up traveling together for a while. And Aberforth actually asked you to look into the death of the king because there's something fishy about it. You found a top of a what looks like a street lamp torch, just like the top part, and you were asked to give that to the abbot at the Temple of Kings because they started moving in to try and get this king established. You make your way to the Temple of Kings, and to get in, there is a entrance where you have to solve a word puzzle, essentially. I would like both of you to give me a quick intelligence check.
Okay. Ugh. That was a 7, and I'm not that smart, so it's a 7.
Okay.
9.
9. Okay. Um, you don't get any hints on how, you don't get like any immediate like inspirations on this, but in your instructions, Algie, you were told by the abbot that this is an anagram. Written on the wall is the phrase, "I am a leader." I'll type it out in chat as well if needed. I'll give you about a minute if you want to try and solve it on your own.
Yes.
Are
Give
there
me a
any, can I make a perception check to see if there are any
Yeah.
clues surrounding the anagram, surrounding the riddle, of where to, what words to aim for? Is like, is there any context?
Sure. Yes. Give me either history or perception.
Okay. Oh my fight. 10.
10. Okay. The way you start rearranging some of the letters, and you know that there's a carving on the wall of the royal family. And one of the words comes to you, and it is Emilio.
Emilia or Emilio?
Yeah, Emilio,
Amelia.
which is the name of the princess who was assassinated. Which means there's 4 letters left over.
Okay, so we have one word, Amelia,
Mhm.
and all right.
Okay.
Does William remember any history from being a soldier that might work being uh, a guardsman, etc., that might have some bearing on this? Any recall?
Actually, yeah. Give me one more intelligence check with advantage.
Okay. That was a 13, followed by a 6, so 13.
13. Yeah, honestly, I'll say you can just you puzzle out the rest. It's Dear Emilio.
Dear Amelia, or Emilio, sorry.
Amelia.
Amelia.
So being a part of the Kingsguard, you rearrange the rest of the letters and the door opens and you head on through. As you're heading on through, you know that there's supposed to be a large squad just accompanying the prince and stuff so forth. You see corpses. Fresh corpses.
Can I make a check for traps?
Please do investigation.
Yep.
19.
So dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, there's no trap did this, but on the high check, I'll give it to you. This was a sword. And the way that the blade cut down all these people, it's almost like the blade cut was immediately seared shut, like the sword was on fire.
William, this seems like your kind of thing.
Yeah, but this is my brother would be in this guard unit,
Yeah,
or
you don't see your brother's body yet.
okay.
Does your
So
brother have some sort of sword that lights people up? Is that something he does?
Maybe this was a good pick.
No, but he my brother Mike, he joined the Prince's Guard. He was drafted, uh, not very well trained. Um, this is concerning. Um, do I have
Give me a
any?
history check, William.
Okay.
Advantage again.
Oh, I was an 8 and a 1.
Eight.
Wait,
Okay.
hold on. Actually, no, I have a modifier.
Yeah. I was gonna say you
I
got a
do.
modifier.
Do. Actually, no, I don't. Sorry.
No. Okay.
8.
8. This should be a low DC because you're part of the King's Guard. The prince does have a sword that glows with a radiant fire.
Does the sword have a name, or just the Prince's sword
For
could do
now, the
this?
prince's sword.
Yes, Ali. The prince does wield a sword that could leave this kind of wound or injury. And I described it as
Yeah.
Well, maybe he beat us here and we've got nothing to worry about, right? He was just, cleaning up house, right?
I don't think so. We should prepare ourselves and be on our guard.
Okay. I cast mage armor on myself.
Sure. So your AC goes up to up by
Now it's
3.
13.
Okay. Further inside, you hear, "Is someone there? Please, someone."
Um, I approach the person calling out. Hello? Call out. King's
Um, he,
Guardsman.
Kingsguard, thank goodness. Please. You enter a larger chamber inside this temple. More and more corpses, all knights you know, knights you've rode with, trained with, priests you've spent time with. You see your brother's body slumped against a wall, a head wound. And Abbot Aberforth on the ground, reaching a hand out towards Algie, barely alive, clinging.
I rush over to Abba Aberforth and I cast Cure Wounds.
Sure. Cure wounds, how much HP?
So it's 2d8 plus 3.
I forgot they buffed that.
So 8.
Oh.
3, 11. I heal him 14 hit points, and I just
Full health.
Abba Aberforth, are you okay?
Algie, my boy, did you bring it? The top of the scepter. The top of the torch.
Yeah, I have it. I have it right here.
Good, I have. He brings out what looks like a metallic quarterstaff, and bzzz, the two halves, the lantern immediately fuses to the top of the staff and glows a blue flame. This reveals the prince. Remember, I told you the assassination. I thought there was something wrong with it. This torch reveals invisible magic glyphs that killed them. It is the work of the prince. Prince Hugo killed his father.
Kind of just look up to William, kind of like, this is beyond my pay grade, sort of look on my face.
William's shocked, and sort of listening, but then looking at his brother, and he wants to check: is his brother alive? Is he dead? Is there any sign of life?
Give me a medicine check.
All right. That is 10 plus a modifier 14.
Oh yeah. On a 10, I was going bronze, silver, gold, so silver is 10. Your brother's alive, unconscious. He took a nasty blow to the head. He may be concussed. You may not want to move him just yet, but he is,
Okay.
for the
I run
moment, okay.
over And I cast Spare the Dying just to kind of stabilize.
Sure, yeah, for sure. I'll say that stops the bleeding in this case.
Okay, and I kind of give William a thumbs up.
Thank you, Augie. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Is my brother conscious now?
No, Spare the Dying doesn't make people conscious,
Brings
but
them,
yeah,
stabilizes them.
it stabilizes them.
Okay. Thank you for that. And then, but I'll cast Cure Wounds
Sure,
to bring him back.
sure.
And so I grasp my talisman and say, uh, heal him. And that's 2D. Wait, sorry, I just marked it. So that will be 2D8 plus my ability modifier. All right. Hold on.
While he's doing that,
Rolling that. Yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
gonna look around the room. So the torch is now lit and being held up by the abbot, right?
Yes.
Are there any runes being lit up on the wall, or did that already happen? Like what's happening around
You
us?
see remnants of magic sigils, magic circles that were set off. So right now there are no active traps in this room.
Okay.
He pulls it closer to you and goes, "LG, you must stop the prince. Take this with you.
What
There are going to be more traps up there, my boy."
what if so this'll show me where the traps are?
Yes. All you've got to you can just attack them. It's like chalk. It's like washing away chalk. You can rush your feet across it, water, and attack anything.
Okay. All right, I just kind of grip it close and well, where do we go next? I don't understand.
The roof. That's where it's that's where the ritual is to take place. I can go with you.
Mike was healed for 11.
11. That's like about half his HP, yeah. Oh, oh. Mealy like reaches for his sword because he's shit. Like he's panicked.
Take a
William, is
deep
that
breath.
you?
Take a
Oh,
deep breath, my brother. Take a deep
brother,
breath.
Hugo, you turned on us.
Yes. Uh, the abbot was telling us about the betrayal.
He says we
We have
need
to
to
go.
go up, but I don't know where.
I can show you the way. I'm still part of the King's Guard.
Are you sure? You've
Where
done
you
enough already.
where you go, I go, brother.
Right, of course.
He stands up and
Kingsguard.
Kingsguard, like claps your hand. We cut to skipping forward to getting to the roof.
Okay.
You go up these extremely long stairs. Above you is a beautiful starry sky, full moon at play, and something mysterious is kind of going on. There's debris that's floating in the air. And as you all get up there, the torchlight reveals magic sigils all around the ground and on the debris.
Oh,
You get the idea that he could throw the debris at you and how that worked like a grenade.
so the debris is kind of just floating in the air. It's not doing anything. It's just kind of standing still right now.
Yeah, it's like 20 feet up, so you're not in danger of walking into it.
Do I see anybody?
You see one lone person, blood all over his armor, blood through his hair, long black hair down to his knees, a tall elf with a sword sheathed to the side and golden eyes. And as he turns to look at you, and you look upon Hugo Rathburn.
I kind of grip my quarterstaff a little tighter, but kind of also hide a little behind William.
Before prince says or does anything, the abbot, as you were walking along, says to, we must basically explain we need to kill the prince, but there's nothing that says someone of royal blood has to be king. So if you kill you don't need the prince alive. Any of you could be king, or you could find someone to be king or queen. Well, a little fucked up, I know. I can see. Uh,
God be praised.
Mr. Gravedigger, I
prince.
want to be a king. Do I have to be king? I don't want to be a king, William.
Well, not to put the cart before the horse. We need to survive,
Okay.
and we need the prince not to,
Okay.
in order to get to that point. Just to be a bit more worldly, if it were. But we're also going to need a little help from uh, above. And I just make the sign of the faithful, and I'll cast bless on
Ooh.
myself, Algie, and I had three or four. How's this work in this level?
It's 3. I
It's
think.
3.
Level 1.
So, do I have insight check into who is more combat effective right now? Is it Aberforth or my
I
brother?
will discharge that I've already used 2 of my spell slots because I got a little healing happy.
Yes. So I charged one of mine, and the second one is our buff. So
Okay.
it's you and me, and
Well, probably.
so
The-
Whack 'em.
between
Oh,
between
Mark, sorry.
Mike,
Yeah.
Mike, okay,
Mark.
Mark, yeah, Mark. Cool. All right. So I will cast the
Those you got bless.
yeah, we get plus on us, and that will
We'll work through
be
the spell effect soon.
yeah.
The prince turns over to you and goes, more rats for the party. Are you here to stop me?
I look at Algie, I look at Aberforth, I look at my brother. My prince, the King's Guard is here.
And me.
Clap him on the shoulder.
I'm not part of the King's Guard. But
I think you are, Algie, in your own way.
Thanks.
4 capable King's Guards. I see.
And you and my prince aren't no king.
So, but what of you? So you're here to strike me down, is it? So state your name, state your decree, and your purpose. How would you declare yourselves?
I step forward and I go, my name is Algernon Root Digger, and I proclaim that you are no true king if you endanger your people. And then I turn to William. I read that in a book.
It's a good book.
Gravekeeper, is it? Let's hope you don't have to dig your own grave.
I'm not a grave digger anymore. I'm a wizard.
And he looks towards, well, William.
William Starling, King's Guard, honorable and true. And you are no king. Yeah.
Very well, draw your weapons. I am Hugo Rathbone. I am the rightful king, he who will forge anew this unworthy, broken, and weak country into a utopia. Attack in any number, wield any weapons, but fight with me with your very lives. If you live by a creed, show me its strength. And please roll initiative. As he draws his fire sword.
12.
12.
5.
Okay.
And the effective bless is those as a 1d4 for 1 minute on attack rolls or saving throws.
Was I part of the blast or was it just
You
you?
were. Yep.
You are.
Me and Mark.
Do you roll the d4 to decide?
You do.
Yeah, the player would.
You're going to roll a d4 every time you do an attack roll, saving throw, or an ability check. So
Okay.
you add it on to
Wait,
whatever you roll.
2024 rules just
Was
a
it
little
different?
Yeah,
God damn it.
it nerfed it a
2024.
little.
Okay.
Whenever a target
Okay.
makes an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends, and its concentration, the target adds 1d4 to the attack roll or save.
Or
So I
save.
guess
Okay, so not ability checks. Got it. Okay.
So Chris isn't rolling a d4 for us to add to all of them.
No,
Okay.
you're going to roll each time.
Okay.
it's a
Okay.
buff. Cool.
So the abbot goes first. He casts Shield of Faith on Algae to increase her AC by 2.
Thank you, Abbott.
I'm always by your side.
He taught me to read.
And we're going to read his ass into the grave. That's his turn. Algae, you're next.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead.
Oh yeah.
Um,
It's a saving throw, right?
it's a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, yeah. What is the DC?
13.
Fails it.
Fails it?
Mhm.
Okay. So he takes 1d8 necrotic. 1d8 plus 5 necrotic. That was a shitty roll. But he takes 6 necrotic points of damage,
Oh, yeah.
and his total HP goes down by 6.
Ooh, hell yeah, hell yeah. All right, anything else for your turn?
Let's see. And then yeah, I don't have any bonus actions, so I'm just
Okay.
going to let the bells do their work.
Got it. Got it.
Little
Next
brought kids out of the graveyard, bitch.
Well spoken. And it is now Hugo's turn as he rushes down to William and takes 2 attacks. What is your AC?
Thank you. It is. I have my shield raised, so I have 14.
14. He hits one and misses the other, so you take 3 slashing damage.
Okay. I have 9 hit points. Very good.
That is his turn for now. It is your turn now, Will.
Oh, just because it's your intention, I'm gonna come in and say, like, just as he did damage, like, the Prince Hugo did damage, give him a line. You're doing very well with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're doing. I just wanted to remind you.
Okay, thank you. He cuts you across the chest with his sword. Is that all from a king's guard?
I've not yet begun to fight.
Well, let's see it.
All right. It's my turn now, right?
It's your turn.
Okay, cool. I'm in melee with the prince. So I'll take a attack swing of my mace. I'll add my 1d4 to the attack roll. So here we go. That's 11 plus 4. Excellent. That's going to be 15 plus my modifier, which is an additional 4. Good. So that
19.
would be 18. Sorry,
18,
19.
19. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you clock him right across the chest. How much damage did your roll do?
Sorry, I'm a little behind the times. I missed my VTT. That was 3 plus 4. 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ooh, you get him right in the chest, and you see that even though 7 points of damage is a hefty amount, he does not let out a single noise of pain and just grins at you and goes, "That's more like it."
I got more
It
where that
is
came from.
it is now your brother's turn, and he takes his great axe and swings.
He'll get 1d4 plus as well.
Yes. Oh yeah. With the 15, doesn't hit as Hero catches the great axe with his hand. Doesn't miss. He just catches the axe and pushes it to the side. And we're gonna skip ahead because we've a little short on time. The battle progresses for, let's say, 1 or 2 more rounds. You're all taking some damage, but the abbot has enough healing for all of you to keep you up as long as they can. You've erased a glyph or two. And then at some point, William, he gets you a clean stab through your chest for 8 points of damage and pulls it out, which I believe brings you to 0 HP.
It would.
As that happens, you fall to your knees. You suddenly hear from behind you and from the skies a Pegasus rider lands. Both of you give me a quick history check.
9.
9.
7.
7. You don't recognize who this is at first glance, which isn't surprising because this person has been missing for the better part of a year. Off the Pegasus horse, a long-haired, beautiful Pegasus knight, the Princess Amelia, strides forth, holds up her scepter, cures William to full health, also golden-eyed, just like Hugo, and hair so dark, the kind of darkness where stars are born. And she goes, "Miss me, brother?" And I think we'll end there. As she joins the fight.
Oh, she joins the fight at the very end. For my money, who are we putting on the throne? Who are we doing the ritual for? Who's becoming king or monarch?
Oh.
Oh.
Because the stars are born in the darkness of her hair.
Okay, we have
Well,
one
that's
vote.
just it's a great description.
Dear
And-
Amelia, Christopher,
And
what do
she
you think?
just healed me, so like she saved my life. So she gets
Okay,
my
all
vote
right.
for king.
Okay, I was just curious. Okay.
Whoever Abbot Aberforth wants me to vote for.
Oh my God.
Yeah, do Rosies for Monarch?
Rosies?
Rosies?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, let's get after it. Great job, Stephen.
Oh, that went so fast, Jesus. Okay.
I know. Okay, so how yeah, weigh in. What'd you do well, or how was that for you?
I think I did fine. I wanted to start combat by 15 minutes in, but there was so much good roleplay to have, and I was like, this has to happen. I feel like it
Agreed.
has to. I think I was still able to get to combat with like a reasonable amount of time to just kind of walk through some things, but
Yeah.
My PCs were very helpful for moving this along and giving a lot of life to words, basically.
Yeah, I y'all's relationship was really cool. I think everyone who's played a PC is like, I mean, you guys are just the best. You know, like if you can form a table of this caliber of people, you'll be okay. What else? What'd you do well, Stephen? What are you proud of yourself for?
I think just the middle section. I think that I did really well, where they found the Mark and Abbot Aberforth, and just to bring those characters to life, and to
Yeah.
kind of not provoke certain feelings.
Emotion, yes,
Yeah.
100%. That was all over this.
I think that's what I did best in this 30 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. Players, what was great about Steven's DMing?
I'm really glad that he brought in Abbot Aberforth to kind of give me a dynamic to play off of, like bring in these characters that have such emotionality tied to them, and not having them, like at first I was like, okay, so one of them's gonna be evil, right? Like waiting for it. Like actually, I like it. It's actually become a trope to have it be like, oh, who you thought was your good friend was evil, and so you actually subverted a trope by having them just be good people that happened to get their ass kicked before you got there. And so I applaud you for not doing the trope of they were evil this whole time, like just being true to the relationship and allowing them to have allies.
Thank you.
This was, I think, a little more tailored to your story, and yet especially with the Abbot, Algie found moments as well. But what did Stephen do well?
I love that his family, his younger brother, who I wrote like was thinking of joining the King's Guard. That happened, but also it didn't like just have like, oh, you joined the King's Guard, but no, you joined the King's Guard like in the middle of a war, and like the royal family is uh missing, dead, decapitated. There's no magical royal protection, and is also in the Prince's Guard, so that's high risk. And you I felt also the pacing worked out and that sort of like, okay, wait, this is the unit my brother's in, and where's my brother? So there's that like anticipation, but there's also action with the abbot going on. Um, so that was good tension building, and then it was dramatic. Okay, my brother's alive, and of course I'm going to heal him now, but also like, we're first level characters, so it's thinking about that. What do I do with my spell slots? Um,
Yeah, there
and
was a lot of tension, like when he said there's a voice calling out to you, and we don't know who it was, and we don't know if it's an enemy, and we don't know, or a friend, or um, and so the suspense of who is it, and are they friendly, and then not only that, but the suspense of seeing two people we love very much injured, but not knowing the condition, like those moments of suspense and allowing us to have moments of discovery as we're seeing how hurt they are and versus just telling us was good.
Wrote some stuff down. Great being mean to the world at the beginning. The world building was like there's no more magic protections. That's like exactly what I'm talking about, being mean to the world. Cool puzzle. Cool puzzle. The recognition of the brother being in the guard, that was so good when a PC we've had these moments throughout where the PC just knows how to play this scene, that was amazing. This is just good game design, giving them a magic item that works in the next scene. It's very video gamey, and yet it works across games, including in the TTRPG. So at the beginning of a session or at some point, a coin that fits only in this one slot, like totally, it feels, coming from having done it, it can feel campy, a little cheesy to be like, it's a coin, it's got an anvil on it. And then at some point, the thing will have an anvil on it. It is so satisfying as a player, and it's so satisfying as an audience when it does, but building it always feels a little campy. I don't know if it's the same for you, Stephen. It feels like, oh, that's
A
weird.
little bit.
But
Yeah,
it
'cause
works. But it works
yeah.
every time. And
Yeah.
so that's one of those, if it ain't broke, and this is from having built video games too. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It works every time. Don't shy away from that. That was really great game design.
It's one of the things that are telegraphed. Like sometimes when games give you healing items, you're like, oh, there's a boss fight coming up. Okay.
Yeah, but does it take anything away?
It doesn't take anything away from it. Like
No.
you know something's coming up eventually.
Yeah, it's still good. It's like it's very strange because building it, all of it always feels like icky somehow, and yet it's necessary. It like works. Okay, I have to ask you. You said medicine check, bronze, silver, gold came out of your mouth, and you were like, I was doing a bronze, silver, gold.
Oh, DC 5, 10, 15, so you get different pieces of information if you score high enough effectively.
And so you had a bronze, silver, gold idea in your head for what those results would be?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. That's great.
So as in like gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, if you get you get a certain tier of
Amazing. It makes so much sense. I had just never heard it. I wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth. So great.
I do that because I like to run a lot of mysteries in my games, and mysteries don't work if you fail to give the players information.
Okay.
So sometimes you always have to give it baseline information, and then if they roll higher, you give them more so that they can act on it.
Okay. God damn. Love it. This is a compliment for the PCs here. And just a reminder, all y'all are doing this, but when you run things for PCs, you have them like each other and have them be on the same side. I've played in games where newer players will want to have conflict for conflict's sake, for drama, for narrative. No, it doesn't work how they think it's going to work. It'll only work when the people are like very, very comfortable and everyone has had a conversation about conflict. But y'all are all doing a great job of being on the same side. Where you go, I go. I've heard this multiple times tonight. It's delightful every time. Okay, great debris in the air. Like that, you do things in your games where it's like high concept, where it's like why but it doesn't matter because magic. It's kind of like you don't need all this logic. It's just like magical shit's happening. So debris flying in the air. you know, the waterfall's going upside down because time, like there's things that you just have in your instincts that are just so good. And it doesn't adjust, it doesn't like change anything, but it helps with the environment and the weirdness of stuff of like, yeah, something you literally said something mysterious is going on. God, I wrote down right after that. Oh, great rules explanation. This was like, this is how kings happen. And it happened at the exact right time. They both knew what to do with that information. And it was just like, you didn't need to lead. You explained it at the right time. It was like almost tutorial mode for a video game where it was like, hey, this is how this combat's going to work, or this is how this is going to be achieved. It also was cool mechanics. It was like, yeah, we just know what to do here. Hugo, so yes, your intention was amazing. You did great.
Thank you.
You inspired other people to have speeches too, including Christopher Trainer, who role played his ass off, and
you did so good, dude.
And yes, so kudos to Christopher Trainer. However, we always look to the leader because it's trickle down. So the fact that you were giving so much role play and encouraged the role play from the players. So I also give kudos to you. The giving the moments to the players, same thing. Okay. So you also have this skill, Stephen, which I'm going to call graphic novel dialogue, which is quippy, fast word bubble type things that happen, which is why I wanted you to keep doing it in combat. It also was your intention.
Oh, okay.
But it's like it's primo improv because it's listening and reacting right. It's to exactly what the words are being said. Something about reading. I don't read his ass to the grave. Like you're responding using the words that were just said, and it is primo improv. When you watch improv comedians do shit like that's what they're doing, and you just have that instinct. So it's wonderful. That wasn't the only time, but it got all of us. We were like, oh, we loved it. Okay, and then the last thing I'll say, this isn't a note about you, just because we're doing good job cutting to. You always have that in games if you want. Like you can play, you don't have to play D&D to play D&D, if that makes sense. You don't have to like do mechanics. You don't have to go minute by minute by minute what happens in life. It's like, great, are we all, yeah, you sleep through the night, no encounters, or we all want to go there. Yeah, it's not, we're there. You know, it's kind of like in movies when you see people and they're like, let's okay, I'll meet them there, and you don't see them like close the door, lock the door, get in the car, start the car, drive, open the door. You just see them in the middle of a discussion, and you're like, your brain fills in the gaps. You always have that. However, you also can play minute to minute, like because there are scenes for role play, in which case I would say you can use those tools from the first 4 classes of the improv scenes of like, well, what conversation would I want to have with this person? But that was just a thought I had listening to this. Seamless. Yeah. Great.
Thank you so much.
All right. Last one. Last but certainly not least, I'm very excited about it. Lisa, will you DM for us?
I don't know. I'm kind of tired.
Fine. It's fine.
Well, hopefully y'all don't mind staying up a little bit longer. I'll try and make it entertaining for everybody. Full props to Kim for being last minute Andrew. I think you need to wear a mustache, but I don't know if Stephen can get it to you in time. So let me just start my own timer, my own personal timer. Kim and Brent, would you mind just briefly introducing who your character is, please? I will start with Kim. Oh, sorry, Brent.
My name is Ridley Hollowknackle. I am a gnome bard. Used to be a merchant over in the city of Sigil along with my family, but now I'm taking my first steps out into the Outland.
Thanks, Ridley. How about you, Brent?
I am a Brick Hammerfall. I am a dwarf fighter, and I am just trying to gain some prominence and coin to rebuild my home.
Awesome. So a few months ago, Ridley answered an ad in the local paper in sigil. Either is acceptable according to Jeremy Crawford. The ad said, seeking adventurers that are small in stature but big in heart, who seek glory and the outlands. Having never been to the outlands, Ridley was beyond excited to actually go through into a strange world and meet up with this person she had never encountered before, other than in response to their letter. So when she arrived in the outlands, she was met by this battle-hardened walking wall of a dwarf, our friend Brick. And they have been seeking their fortunes on adventures, some harrowing adventures in the outlands, ever since. So most recently, you have accepted a new job from a local merchant in the outlands whose name is Loctus. And Loctus, so Loktus or something. So Loctus has offered you a pretty hefty reward of 200 gold pieces if you are able to locate and secure a priceless artifact and return it to him. What you know is that that artifact is in Automata, which is one of the gate towns in the outlands of Planescape. Brent has been there before. Brent actually was raised, and his home is very close to Automata. So you have been told that this relic is very important to this merchant, that it may even contain the power of Mechanus, Mechanus being the city through the portal, if you are in the city of Automata. So you've been told that at midnight tonight in the city of Mechanus, at the portal which goes to Mechanus, you are going to be looking for 2 Modrons coming through the portal back into Automata that will be carrying this priceless artifact. So you are tasked with finding a way to get to this portal. The 2 people that will be carrying, the 2 creatures that will be carrying this artifact through the portal have been described to you as Modrons, which Brent has seen before, having been to Automata. And I keep calling you Brent, and I'm just going to call you Brick for the rest of my life. And Brick knows that these monodrones basically look like these little guys right back here in my background. They are round. They have spindly little legs and arms. They have little tiny wings that kind of give them the ability to hover. But they're kind of that baseline automaton robot. And they've just been sent on a task to come through the portal with this artifact, and you are going to find them. Easy peasy, should be no problem at all. So you know, and what Brick is going to explain to you, Ridley, is that Automata is basically this world of law and order. There's a lot of mechanical creatures. Everything is very orderly. It's a very lawful environment. It's all about bureaucracy. Everything is meticulously created. The buildings are perfectly aligned. The sidewalks are perfectly aligned. It's very clean. Nobody breaks the law. So you know that in itself is not going to be the greatest place for you to kind of pull a heist.
Yeah, sounds boring.
Yeah. So yeah, it does. So what Brick knows is that there is kind of an underbelly to Automata, and there's a place that you can access that has a series of underground tunnels that's known as the Inverse. And the Inverse is like really the underbelly of Automata. It's where all the sketchy people are. There's a lot of kind of shady deals going down, smuggling, rum running, card playing, gambling. But it has a series of tunnels that you can kind of navigate under the city and come up and out wherever you want through basically like sewer ducts. So Brick takes you down into the Inverse and knows it's going to take you maybe 20 minutes, half an hour to get to where you need to be to come up by this portal to wait for these couriers to come through the portal. So it's late in the evening, it's getting dark. you just trust in Brick because basically he's taking you down this like super sketchy kind of dark ladder into what looks like a sewer. But the first thing that hits you is the smell. And it's the best smell you've ever smelled. It is the smell of every kind of food that you've ever imagined eating. It's smoky, it's spicy, it's savory, it's sweet, it's incredible. And as you get further down into the sort of tunnel, it starts to get a bit brighter. Your eyes start to adjust, and you see that there's torchlights on either side of these tunnels, and you start to see people. And it's really, the Outlands is home to every species across the multiverse. And in here you see Gatsari playing some sort of shady card game. You think someone might be cheating because someone else is looking very angrily at them across the table. You see these barriers, which are basically kind of horse people that are like stomach up, they're people, but stomach down, they're a horse. Fascinating for you coming from Sigil, which is also home to a lot of strange creatures, but this is like nothing you've ever seen before. And as you're walking through, two staggering figures kind of stagger in front of you. And it's one of these barriers, these half man, half horse, female barrier. And she seems to be propping up her friend, who is an equinal guardian. And basically it's a horse with a bipedal horse. It's a horse with legs. It's weird. And
Bojack Horseman.
and they seem a little drunk, and they kind of walk in front of you, and the horseman just looks at you. The drunker of the two looks at you and just kind of goes, "Ah, I hate you."
I don't know you. Is that how we greet people here? This is weird. Is that how it works?
Yeah, get all kinds.
And their partner that's holding it up, she says, "He doesn't like you."
Sorry.
"I don't like you either." And they kind of rustle up like they're gonna like maybe go for you, and the one horseman is kind of like doing this, and he's like, wait. "I won't kill you if you answer me a riddle."
I kind of looked to Brick. Do I have to answer the riddle? Is this a
"I
game?
think you have to answer this riddle."
Uh,
It's good. You'll love it.
okay. Hit me.
I cover your front better than a fine coat. And when I'm wooden, I can also float.
A cod piece.
If someone attacks you, then I'll take the lead as you carry me forward to do a good deed. And my friend will repeat it if you need to hear it a second time. And he kind of nods off of
didn't
it.
realize there was more after a certain point.
So the friend kind of like props up her half unconscious friend and just says, "All right, I cover your front better than a fine coat. And when I'm wooden, I can also float. If someone attacks you, then I'll take the lead as you carry me forward to do a good deed."
A shield?
Shield.
Yeah.
Shield. I
And-
said it.
and
said
the-
it.
the
My voice
drunker-
goes really deep.
Yeah.
Shield.
Yep.
And the drunker one goes, "What? Yeah, that's it. Hey." And he starts patting you guys on the back. "You guys are awesome. I had you guys all wrong."
I whisper to Brick,
I was gonna say boat.
And,
Also a good answer.
and the female barrier hands you a mug and says, "Drink up, my friends." And she kind of carries her friend away.
Oh, now this is This is the hospitality I'm expecting. This is what.
Mm.
This is what.
So you have a some sort of questionable drink, and you're going to now make your way through the rest of the tunnels, and you're going to eventually reach the base of another ladder that looks very similar to the ladder that you came down. And Brick's like, Brick, you will know that this is the ladder that you need to go up.
After you,
All
Michael.
right.
So as you come out the top, there is a, covering, because most of these are concealed within the town because the law and order upstairs would not like this whole underground scenario. Do you just like push it up, or do you kind of like gently kind of
Yeah, I'll do a peek through.
a peek through?
Just like,
Okay.
yeah.
Make a perception check for me.
Perception. Where is it? I am rolling on D&D Beyond, so this is weird.
I know, it's totally weird.
Can I, before he does that, can I inspire him?
Absolutely. Bardic
Okay.
inspiration.
While he's doing that, I go, he's a brick. Dun, 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 dwarf. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. Get this, what we're going for. Yeah. And then he gets to take a D6.
For the record, if this was an actual game, I would give you inspiration for that, which we can talk about another time.
Like, seriously. Altogether, that would be 20. Dirty 20.
Yeah, you perceive that there doesn't seem to be anything happening around. You don't sense any presence of anyone directly around that manhole. It sounds pretty quiet. I mean, it is almost midnight. So nothing concerning.
All right, I'll go ahead and pop it up and climb out.
Okay.
Okay. I climb up after him and I kind of stand beside him.
So when you climb up to the top, I would say that for Ridley, this is just like, as someone that has grown up in one place and has never really seen much of the world, this is pretty freaking cool. There's a giant toothed gear that essentially sprouts up from the top of where this portal is located. Not only is Automata a place of law and order, but Mechanus, which is where you go through the portal to, is all about time and really controlling time in the entire multiverse. But that could be a whole other 3-hour campaign, so I'll leave it at that. So what you see around that then is the gear is slowly turning. And everything else you kind of hear, if it's like creatures like flies buzzing, bees buzzing, everything kind of follows the clicking of this gear, and it's almost like a doot, 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 and everything keeps time with it. You do see a couple of other mechanical creatures that you, Ridley, presume are Modrons of some sort, coming through the portal, going through the portal, but it's pretty quiet. I would say that, Brick, you know that usually during the day, this portal is quite a hub of activity. So
and no, like 2x2 hands of screws, any of that sort of stuff. Like nobody's that looks like a pair.
It's like, yeah, it's like the nighttime cleaning staff coming through doing stuff, basic like worker level Modrons, some security agents. There is, of course, a lot of security to maintain that level of law and order within the city.
I just take out my fiddle and I just start, pizzicatoing, like playing it like a ukulele because I'm bored.
Okay. I'll allow that for now. What you know is it is coming up into midnight. You're kind of standing maybe 10 feet to the side of the portal, and you're just kind of, you're playing your instrument, you're minding your own business, having a quiet conversation, not trying to draw any interest to yourselves. You don't see any guards at the portal right now, which is probably to your benefit. The one thing that you do know from the merchant that hired you is these two monodrones that will come through the portal. will be identifiable to you because unlike the normal similar way that all of these monodrones would look, in the silvery kind of metallic wings that these ones have, each one has a red feather in that series of spread wings. So you're looking for the modrons that have the red feather. While you're kind of looking around as well, you see the people coming in and out of the portal, and there's a lot of foot traffic and kind of debris from typical people walking through dust and elements and whatnot. But you do see some other footprints kind of going off in the area where you're standing.
Footprints that were there before?
That no one's made them since you came up above ground, but they suddenly, your attention is drawn to them because they seem kind of out of place, like not the normal direction of in and out traffic from the portal.
Can I make a nature check to see what kind of footprints they look like?
Sure.
$17.
They look distinctly humanoid, probably from a large humanoid person, definitely not robotic or modron footprints. And because it was a good roll and in a nature check, you feel like they're fairly recent.
Hey, Brick.
Yeah.
These look like they were made by the two horses' asses we just saw down the tunnels.
Do I think that they do?
Roll the investigation or nature, I don't care.
Investigation, it's the same. So
Okay.
16.
What am I answering? Do they look like horses' asses?
Do they?
No.
The
They
guys
don't.
that were up above.
No, they look
Yeah.
like kind of militia battle boot prints, something, Brick, that you would be quite familiar with.
Okay. Are they heading towards or away from the portal?
Away.
Away.
Now, as you're pondering, you catch the glimmer of two metallic figures coming through the portal. And as you, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just said heads up to Brick. Sorry.
And you can see quite clearly in the light of the portal that at least one of them has a red feather painted into its wings. And they're just come out of the portal and they just walk with purpose.
All right. I guess we'll, try to slyly move toward them.
You're the leader, bud. I'm right behind you.
Let's go.
Okay.
We'll do it casually. Just like we're walking.
Fly casual.
And are you behind them? Are you beside them? What's your game plan here?
Kind of behind, but parallel. If that makes sense.
No.
Just like like diagonally. We're not directly behind them, but we want to keep them in sight, but off to the left or so.
Like flank them, kind of like they're coming out of the portal. So
kind of, yeah.
Flank them a bit,
right?
Maybe.
And so they're kind of take a few more steps, and they're doing their typical Modron things, and one of them catches that you're staring at them, Brick, and it kind of turns to you and says, "Beep boop. Good evening, citizen. Beep boop. How may I be of assistance? Beep boop."
I'm gonna make a quick check and look around and see if I see anybody else watching us.
Perception. Thank you.
Deception. You said perception?
Yeah, perception.
Right. I don't know why it's a deception.
Can I also make a perception? Same.
Sure.
Yeah, I rolled a 5.
Yeah. So you have no idea.
19. Dirty 19.
Ooh.
So you're trying to see if you see somebody else watching you?
Yeah, same he was looking for. Like, is anybody watching us right now?
As you kind of turn around to look, you feel like you see a shadow by the portal. kind of pull back into the shadow, the darkness of the, you know what I'm saying.
Got it.
And the other Modron says, beep boop. Do you need assistance, citizen? Boop beep.
Oh,
Yeah.
so yeah. Oh no, after you, sir.
We were sent to take that relic from you to deliver it in your
Oh.
in yeah. That's what we're here for.
Escorts. What do
We're
you?
here to escort you.
Make an investigation check real quick.
Investigation.
Sure, why not?
18.
So you see because you kind of were flanking, the Modron that's closest to you, Brick, you see has like a leather strap around their shoulders, with like a little carrying bag in it, and you catch the glint of something shiny, reflecting from inside that. You have said to them about taking the artifact, and the other Modron is going to go beep boop, warning, 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 warning.
Okay, I'm gonna cast prestidigitation.
Oh shit.
I think it means I can make a sound.
Yeah, you can do a lot of kind of bullshitty things with it. So
Everything kind of changed with it, so I don't mind double checking, but
sure. Because I don't know off the top of my head either, so go for it.
Let's see. Okay, so a sensory effect.
Yeah.
Such as sour, puff of wind, faint musical notes, or odd odor. I'm gonna make it sound like EDM music is playing along with the warning, so it sounds like a soundtrack, not a warning. So like
Warning, warning, warning.
and then I'm gonna start
warning.
dancing to kind of be like, I love this song. It's so great how they sampled real life to play it.
So the one Modron is clearly just in warning mode. The other Modron that is carrying the artifact pulls a little teeny tiny sword. It's the cutest little sword, but it's still a sword, and roll initiative.
Oh.
It knows this is all bullshit.
15.
Okay, sorry. 15 for Brick. And Ridley?
7.
Oh. And then I've lost my own time. Oh, yeah, okay. So Brick is gonna head off the order, followed by Ridley, followed by Modron Artifact, followed by Modron. Warning, warning, warning. What would you like to do, Brick?
I'm going to try something tricky. I have a spear. I want to attack the one that has the satchel.
Okay.
But as I attack, I want to try to catch the strap and pull the satchel off.
I don't know about that. I think you can attack. So you're trying to basically attack it and then pull the spear out and pull the bag with you. I feel like that's
Yes.
2 rolls, personally.
Okay,
I think
okay.
there's an attack roll and like some sort of like dex roll out of that. So
then I will just try to get the satchel.
so you're not even trying to attack him, you're just gonna try and get the satchel with what?
With the spear.
Okay. What am I immune to? I mean, you can try. I would say you're probably, would this be a contested like dexterity check? That's what I'm thinking this is. So I'm just gonna do it, no matter what Amy tells me, unless I'm totally wrong. Roll me a dex check.
Dex check. Where is my dex?
Just gonna let me
There
do
it
it.
is.
Thanks. Yep.
9.
I rolled, well, I'm not gonna tell you, but I can almost double that. So the Modron is just like, this is not following the law, and it kind of turns to one side, and your thing just kind of goes by it.
Okay.
Ridley. Warning, warning.
I'm gonna cast Thunder Wave on the warning one because
Yep.
we got to drop the beat at some
Oh
point.
yeah. Yep.
Um,
So
Okay,
remind me again, like I can't remember what happened an hour and a half ago. So
so that wasn't very good. Wait, is it my spell saving date or my attack bonus? Spell attack bonus. 10.
Unfortunately, we decided it was a cube and there was a thing.
Yeah, it's within so it's 15 feet cube.
Oh
But
wait,
it's myself is the range, and then so it's like a 15-foot cube from
but you
myself.
don't roll for that, do you?
No, con saving throw.
It's
Yes.
yeah, I was gonna say it's an
Oh,
effect.
sorry,
So
I'm getting
yeah,
I'm getting
no.
all
I
over-
I don't know the spell that well either. So
So sorry,
I roll
they
a
roll a
save.
con save throw. Never mind.
And they what did you roll? Sorry.
So my spells, I actually
Yes.
didn't need to roll. I was
Sorry, your
I
spell
was
saving
probably-
DC
is
is
13.
So fail.
Okay.
Warning.
How far away are we from the portal?
15 feet probably.
15 feet? Okay. I'm going to, so they take, first they take damage.
Is this like gonna be like a Modron toss?
Okay, so it takes 10 points of thunder damage.
Yep.
And he gets pushed 10 feet, so.
With 10 points of thunder damage, I hate to interrupt,
Oh, I'm sorry.
but he turns into a pile of dust, disappears, leaving only his cute little sword behind.
Silence. It's gold.
The That's your turn. Second Modron's gonna go, oh shit. He's not gonna say that. I'm kidding. He's gonna go
Beep boop bullshit.
boop beep boop. And he's gonna take the holster off and he's gonna set it down in front of you and he's gonna run away.
I look at Brick and I go, I think we need to examine the 75-25 part of our deal.
And Brick, as you reach down to pick up this device, you hear a familiar, if not a long time ago, voice from back where you saw that figure in the shadows say, "Oh, Brick, have you learned nothing?" And out from the shadows steps an awfully familiar figure that you recognize as Captain Rurik Blackstone.
This guy.
The man that betrayed your entire community for a cool $50. Well, it's probably more than that.
Yeah. I will go ahead and pick up the satchel. I will look over. I cannot remember your character's name now.
Ridley.
Ridley, right. I will look over at Ridley and be like, you help with this? We'll definitely split 50-50.
Yeah.
As you turn to face your nemesis, this is where we get weird. A giant dragon falls from the sky, breathes its breath weapon on Captain Rurik and destroys him completely, because that's what happens at 29 and a half minutes. And Captain Rurik, in flames, falls back through the portal and disappears.
I turn to Brick and I go, as much as I would like to take credit for that, that wasn't me.
This dragon says, "Hey guys, I'm Emerus. How you doing?"
What? Oh my god.
They don't get a share.
Are you guys okay? Did they hurt you?
No.
No, we're good.
We're all good.
Why?
Cool.
Who's asking?
So, hey, I'm here about that little thing that's in that little pouch there. I don't know if you actually know how dangerous it is. So I thought I'd come and help remove it from your property?
Hmm.
I step forward and I go, you see, here's the thing. We already got somebody lined up for purchase. But what happens to it after it leaves our persons? Completely out of our hands. So if you want to follow us and then negotiate with our client, that's fine with us.
I don't think I can do that. And the dragon is going to cast on you, Ridley, share memory.
Okay.
And it's going to require a DC 15 intelligence
Intelligence?
save. Yeah.
She makes it. I want to hear this. This happens. What happens?
Yeah, I failed. So
No, it's better that she fails. So
Yeah.
you fail, and for a brief moment, Emerys shares her memories with you. And in it, you see another creature, innocent like yourself, becoming owner of this time travel device, and it destroying her and destroying her family and destroying her community. And you realize that nothing good can come from using this device. And when you come back, Emerys says, I'm sorry I had to show you that. Would you be willing for me to permanently disable that? And then you could take it as a little trinket. I'm sorry you lose your money, but you might, save your families and your communities.
Hmm.
I'm gonna let the dice decide. So, look, I get it. This is a dangerous artifact, and, well, dangerous artifacts, it matters who holds them, but we're not necessarily going to a bad person. I mean, I don't want to own this thing. I'm not going to use this thing. Trust me, I can't even use the toilet straight. But, like, we're going to, we don't know. Maybe they don't want to use it back. Brick, what do you think?
I think Dragon pays us. We still get paid.
Or that. I mean, as long as we still get paid, that probably works too.
The dragon just laughs.
Oh no!
And prepares to blow her giant breath weapon, and then we're gonna end it.
Yeah, the real battle. Amazing, amazing. Yay! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Monsters galore. I friggin' love it. We had all
I'm
kinds of
just
monsters.
fast.
We had constructs. We had a monstrosity, if that's what a centaur is, or a fae, or whatever that
Or
was.
fey creatures, yeah.
Fae, and then we had a dragon type. So anything's possible in Automata.
Oh
Love
yeah,
it.
for sure.
Lisa, how did you do? What did you love about what you did? What did you do so well?
I loved it because it's fun, and I tried to work in a bunch of silly tropes and little like nods to pop culture. Little shout out to
Yes.
Michael with my he doesn't like you. I was just all
I don't like you either.
I don't like you either.
Oh,
Uh
yes.
it was really fun. I love Planescape. I've been playing in it for about 2 years, and so it was cut. Oh my god.
Yes.
I felt rushed.
Yeah.
I felt like I sacrificed role play at the expense of the story, which I really like the story, but I'm usually like a 70-30 split on role play versus activity, action, whether it be like doing something or in a encounter battle combat. So not my happy space. I didn't tell you what my goal was, but my goal was really just to be more comfortable with the mechanics of actual combat. It's never been my strong suit. I always rely on my more experienced players or whatever to figure it out. I think I just made decisions, and I think I achieved what I'd hoped I would achieve, but I really missed the role play.
Yeah, you
Rick is a
are.
really good character, and I really wanted to flesh some of that out. And I basically had to go, here's the nemesis of your whole life, and oh, look, he's dead.
Yes. That being said, yeah, even when you were like, I guess it's a dex save, it's like absolutely, or a dex check, without the extra skill attached. It was like, yeah, of course, absolutely. Intelligence check, anything like that. That was great. You improvise that on the fly, and I do that all the time. I don't know half the spells. The only reason
No.
I know any spells with you guys is just because we're building level 1 characters, and someone takes Thunderwave every time, and it's just like burned in my head. But no, you handled the mechanics really well. I'm glad. You are definitely a role player at heart. You get this enthusiastic twinkle in your eye that is like undeniable. So I'm really happy you chose to move through that. I mean, we know that you're good at that. So
Yeah.
practicing the other skill, what can you do in 30 freaking minutes? It's not a
Yeah.
lot of time.
No.
And you definitely prepped like a 4-hour
Oh yeah.
thing like this. I just because I had looked through it and I was like, oh yeah, each one of these could have been 30 minutes, like the encounter. Let me ask you this, with the I don't like you, my friend doesn't like you, I don't like you either. If they got the puzzle correct, like in your head, like what if in a longer game, what kind of benefit or consequence like could have happened from that?
Oh, they would have come back in and been the heroes in some sort of fight or encounter.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Because they're both really cool races. Like the Barrier in particular is kind of new back to 20. Well, actually, it's to the Planescape. So whatever that came out a year and a half ago, they had been only like ancient, I think third edition. They hadn't been around since. So Barriers are just really cool. I've got one in my game right now, and she's like a bartender, tavern owner, sassy little girl.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
So
everything
yeah,
you
I just
introduced,
love
I
the
was like,
world.
I want to see more. I want to see more. Okay. Players, what did you appreciate about Lisa's DMing and world building, by the way?
World building, chef's kiss. Like seriously, that was so good. And you may have felt rushed,
Yeah.
but the play didn't feel rushed.
I can't wait to go
You know
back
what
and
I
watch
mean?
the recording to actually
It
see
it,
what
it
it felt
like it
Yeah.
like I was worried at one point. I was like, are we going to get to combat, because it didn't feel rushed. It felt like we were because there was so much world building, and we were playing in it, and going through it, that it never really felt like it was that, like, I never felt rushed at all. I just, we were just living in the so that's, yeah.
Yeah, you gave, even though like there wasn't as much role playing as like you usually encourage, like every time there was an opportunity, you let those moments breathe. You let them play out
Mhm.
naturally. You weren't afraid of the silence and giving us a chance to, like, because we were stuck in a lot of pickles. So it was like kind of like, okay, you gave us a moment to kind of like strategize and stuff like that. Like those moments didn't feel rushed. The role play didn't feel rushed when you did have an opportunity to have it. And like it was definitely just the mechanics of trying to do something in a half hour, like that you had to skip those sections, but it didn't feel like you were rushing us through our moments. It just felt like you were giving us cut tos, like, bringing us to moments where we could shine.
Yeah.
Your NPC work is divine. Like how you quickly get a point of view, quickly get a point of view, quickly get a point of view. And so yes, in this case, we're hungry for more, but it's like those things are playable ad nauseum. Like you could just keep going because we know exactly like what to do with that. You even, you saw Kim and Brent interact with them in a way that was like authentic and funny and interesting.
Who thought we were having a rave?
I know.
'Cause I sure didn't see that coming.
No, totally. You're like, when you're in character, you're in character. You're like all the way in. And so it's like, and I cannot imagine that you prep any of it. So it's like, oh yeah, beep boop, of course. That's how they talk.
Well, that's how they talk.
And then warning is like it's just
made
like
it up on the spot.
Yes. And it is divine. It is divine. So another things you do well, your proper nouns. Everyone take note of Lisa's proper nouns. This is how you get people to write shit down. Their talking points they're memory points for you, but also for players. They matter. The more specific, it's like you know, you can do the valley of this thing, or you can call it like Devil's Crest, like, and that will be something that people will write down. Might be the only thing they write down, just so you know. But proper nouns, like, do them. Automata, it's something that sticks for that, and sigils, like a description of what a sign is. I'm gesturing as if there's like on the pauldron, but all right, automata, yes. It was funny, the Brent Brick thing. I just wrote that down. You changed, this is just semantics, but like I do this too, and so I appreciate it. You were like, the people, I mean the creatures do this, like just this, that switch was like, oh, we're dealing with, that's right, the moderns are technically monsters in my head, like as I'm listening.
Constructs.
Yeah, it mattered, it like
Yeah.
helped a lot, so I just appreciate just like the sticking to the semantics. The other thing that proper nouns do, and like specifics like this, it lets it's immersive. So that means that when we are discussing it in character, we're like, well, are we gonna go to Devil's Crest or stay back at Bunkmate, you know? And it's like, that's more fun than going, so are we going to go to that town where it seems like it's at the bottom of the valley, or that place where we were that was just west of here. Like it's like it is like juicy immersive. So I just wanted to call that out, because
To touch on that, like I
yes.
have no, I don't know anything about Planescape. I don't know
Mhm.
anything about anything like I barely know anything off of the material plane as far as like knowing the world of D&D. So I was able, like I looked up what sigil was so that I could play Ridley, but like you filled in the world for me enough that I, having no experience with Planescape or any of these outer plane sort of worlds, was able to still understand where we were and how things felt, what the vibe was, and everything like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's what
I really tried to do that.
It's what the high level RPGs do. And it feels like, oh yeah, we're just going to sigil. Like they just talk about it as if it's real, because it is. And the way you do that is you as a dungeon master decide proper nouns. You just decide. Doesn't matter. You don't have to be clever about it. You don't have to. It can already exist or not. Michael did a good one with a torchlight, or the little torchlight hollow or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you just I just am such a fan of it, and it worked really well, and we saw that the players were playing immersively in there. So many moments I laughed at. Had that note. The red feather. Okay, so this is interesting because the red feather and Modrons, the reason Lisa knew about the feathers is by looking at the character art. And so I just encourage y'all to do that too. Like, oh, what's going on with this character art? How can I distinguish them from other people? Like that was just very clearly like researched in a way that was like, let me just look at the character art. Oh, okay, this is, so now I'm gonna make a specific based off of the art that is real. And that I really liked that. I also just love Modrons, so that's it's so, they're so great.
And that's just one level, folks. There's like 10 more on top of that. Right?
Yes. The clue planting, you got them interested in those footprints.
Thank you for that suggestion.
Yeah. Okay, Brent, I actually have a question for you, and don't let me forget, because I'm going to ask you. Prestidigitation. I love the Modron going, oh shit. I also love the Lisa going, oh shit. Like, oh, it's like such a good dungeon master moment. It's what players live for, is to exasperate their dungeon master.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, give that to them. Ridley, Brick and Ridley. Okay. Yes, you made Brent do 2 checks, because it's not just an attack. It's like a specific attack. It's an attack and then a removal.
That's right?
So
like
that was amazing. Okay. Yes, all day. The other reason I like this, just to get a little analytical, is because that's the goal. So why would you make the goal the achievable thing? Yes, the instinct to make it harder is like, well, okay, if you can just get it, like, you know, like so yes, you bump up the, even if on some level the mechanics make sense, that yeah, you could probably pull off a satchel off of a guy's shoulder. It's like, no, this is the objective, so let's like bump it up, let's elevate it with an extra check. That perfect, like absolutely, it's what I would have done. After successes and failures. Yeah, good world building, and then the dragon at the end. Like I would have loved to see the dream, all of that. But you obviously way prepared. Yeah, a great 4 hour
Emerus
session.
is an existing NPC in my game, and I just wanted to bring her in because I love her.
Yeah, I loved her immediately. It's
And that particular voice is young Emerus. She's a time traveling dragon, so they've encountered her at various stages in her life, depending on where my characters are. But when she's a young dragon, she's just like, "Hey guys, let's go to the mall."
Yeah, she's obviously traumatized, so we already love her. Brent, the question I had for you is, just so you know, you've PC'd twice tonight. You've played in 2 games, and both times I would say that the overarching narrative did target your character, like you were the person chosen. So I would like to hear from you, what about your back? I have an idea of what maybe is going on to make people choose, like, target your guy. But what do you have advice for building a PC backstory?
I try to give the DM as much as possible, like really, like, give them backstory, give them a goal, give them things that they care about, things that this character cares about, and they don't have to use any of it. I always want to preface that you use what you can, throw out what you can't. But I just try to, like, I try to, I'm a writer. I write novels and whatnot. Well, I try to write novels, but so I tried to, like, fill those characters and make them living, breathing people. So I give them goals, I give them people to care about, and I give them some kind of backstory that has a little bite to it.
Okay.
And that's it. I mean,
yeah, I don't know if it's true, but it might be that your nemesises are also very rich. Like, you don't shy away from really hating something specific or someone specific or someone specific doing something specific, and then the why behind it. Like, it feels, yeah. I didn't read your PCs, but each time when this person showed up, it was complicated. It was like, it was not like, oh, I'm going to attack him right away, but because they have something that I want, but also maybe they're justified. It was really this question mark that was juicy. So I don't know what was in your backstory, but my instinct is that the nemesis, you didn't shy away from making something tragic have happened to you, caused by a certain person or group, and then having that group be kind of justified in it. So yeah. Anyway, I just want to highlight that for anyone else building a PC.
Can I add to that?
Yes,
like,
please.
Part of why the villains were, like, why I was like, oh, I want to do something with Drell, was because it wasn't just a singular goal. Like, there were options for him. His goal was, I want to get Tal back into the fold or kill him. And the fact that there was a conflict there of, like, he actually doesn't want to kill him. Like, that there wasn't just a, I'm going to kill this guy on sight, that there was, like, a motivation to talk first and convince first, so that there were options for not only you to negotiate, but to also for Drell to have multiple motivations and tactics.
Who put that? What was that, a Brent thing or was that a Kim?
It was a Brent thing. That Brent was like, Drell's my nemesis because he was part of my old crime life. The wants to get him back or kill him trying was, like, literally the phrase. Like, wants to either get him back or kill him trying. So it was like, Drell is gonna first use the tactic of, I'm gonna kidnap Mira, not because I want to hurt you, but because I want to get you back. And then if that fails, I will attack you. So there wasn't just the, oh, my goal is just to kill Tal. There was multiple layers to work with as a villain.
Neat.
In there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the I think the I can't remember who said it, but somebody said you give them something they love and something they hate. And with Brick, it was, this guy basically sold out his town and had it destroyed. So his goal, Brick's goal, is to rebuild that town, to get that community back, to try to save it, even though it's really gone. And you had this guy who took it, and so if he ever meets him, he meets him, he wants to destroy him. But with Tal, it was more of a little bit nuanced. You gave him the sister that he loves and would do anything for, but also feels this danger for her, that he cannot be part of her life because he has bad people that would use her against him, which they did. Which I'm so glad you did that, because I was just like, oh God, that's so fun to play with. but then also, Drill's not Tal's enemy. He's he's just Tal's a tool to him, you know. And that when you give characters, like when you build them up for that, I think that just you give them something juicy to play with, and you hand that to the DM and just say run,
I
So I
love
love it.
that. I love that. I think it's worth clocking as a dungeon master too, that even if your player character doesn't give you that, that's available for you to have a complicated villain. Enough about that. This is about DMing, but yeah, I knew something was going on and I wanted to know what. Okay, cool. Great. Everybody, great. Oh, okay. Lisa, do you have any advice for people going into next week? And then Steven, I think I didn't ask you for advice either, so we'll ask you that after Lisa.
Um, work on it, step away, come back to it. I don't know. I refined it a couple of different times as I started pulling it together over the course of maybe 3 sitting sessions, but you're going to prepare too much. It's just the way it is. Pick your favorite part and make sure that you get to it. I don't know. Like I thought most of it pretty clearly, like kind of what the beats were going to be. And it's the number one thing I've learned in this course. Now, there's so many things, but like the number one thing for me is making the environments, not the story. And that has been really helpful for me coming into this, knowing I had a few different scenes set with all of the accoutrements and all of my NPCs, but I really didn't know what you're going to do with it.
Yeah.
No.
I love it. Steven?
I think I would say trust yourself in the moment when you're DMing, because there's a lot of things we talk about all the time. There's always going to be things you didn't prepare for, or people who ask questions and you don't have an answer for it. You'll think of it in the moment, but like when you're really focused in that moment, you will think of an answer right away, and then you'll just have to piece it all together a little bit later and make sure it stays consistent. Sure, but 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 when you're pressured for it, it's like when you're prompted for that answer in the world building, you will say something that is true to yourself.
That's great. That's great. I 100% agree with both of you. Y'all, that's a class 30 minutes late. Sorry about that. Everyone did so
Sorry,
great.
not sorry.
I am so entertained. I'm so full. Y'all are excellent. Yeah. Onward next week. Have so much fun. If anyone wants to adjust their PC or like work on it, obviously reach out to me, reach out to each other. That seemed to work well for people. So, good. Yeah, go ahead, Kim.
For our next one, because we're supposed to do this again, right? And then, like, do you want us to just share that with you, or
yeah, you won't be running
okay.
it. Yeah, you won't be running it. I guess it's up to you if you want to run it. I yeah, like to me, it's more the reps of prep. Like prep for something like this is because once you're in it, and it's nice. It's like fun. But the prep can get a little heady if you're like, I don't know. And then finally you do know when you're in front of people. So yeah, if you want to do another one and prep another situation, send it out. I'm happy to look at it. You can have other people look at it. But yeah, it's more, that's very optional.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's optional. If you want the
Optional.
rep, let's do it. Yeah.
You must do 5.
Well, I'll look at anything. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I will enjoy it, and I'd be happy to hop on the phone with anyone too for next week. So keep that in mind. But yeah, that's it. Enjoy. Can't wait for next week.
Yep.
Good job, everybody.
Bye,
Bye, friends.
Good night.